It's Carolyn Bryant. We have a warrant.
What?
Is Carolyn Bryant here?
Who?
Carolyn Bryant, Dunham.
No.
No?
Who is that?
Hold up, wait a minute. Listen real close as I crack the code. This is all scripted. Check it out.
As you.
Hold
On.
on. Not the hour Miller. Hurry now, Miller.
No.
Carolyn Bryant, we have a warrant.
It's Carolyn Bryant. We have a warrant.
Carolyn Bryant, we have a warrant. Carolyn Bryant, we have a warrant. Carolyn Bryant, we have a warrant.
It's Carolyn Bryant. We have a warrant.
Brothers and sisters from this area and state, they actually serve this notice. To read and to serve this notice. This is an eviction notice from the black people in this state. This is an eviction notice and a subpoena to appear. This is the people of North Carolina versus Carol and Bryant Dunham, 8800 Stockbridge Circle. We in here goddamn hiding now, see?
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
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 The next location that we're going to is 4812 Six Forks Road. It's six right now.
My stores, my school, my number to heart. Who was the first to remember? I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I'll be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I'll be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I'll be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. If you a friend of the Moors, then you's a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back. Sumo Rock on the mountains, Mississippi and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European how to bathe. And looking at women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Hell no, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But when the love for the woman look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now cypher, I'll be that more you gon' remember. Welcome to another edition of Mosque TV. I'm your host, Brother Tahaka Bay. Can you hear me? Press 7 if you can hear me. Time to get down with the get down. How I'm sounding out there in radio land. Am I sounding all right out there in the radio land? Well, family, we got one for you today. Where'd my guest go? He just dropped off. As soon as I'm ready to start, he drops off. So, family, we got one with you today. So what we got for you today is this. Do y'all remember? Let me see if I can pull them up. let me be clear. Do y'all remember Brother Najee? If you remember Brother Naji Muhammad, that's a beautiful thing. But if you don't remember Brother Naji Muhammad, that's also a beautiful thing. One thing about Moorish World TV, we are the show and prove network. And everything that I have brought to you, I do my best to show and prove. And what I mean I do my best is I turn every stone, I move every branch, I look under every bed, and as, what's his name? Inky said, I look in every window. Metaphorically speaking. But with that being said, Najee and Malik Zulu Shabazz have conspired, you hear what I say? Have conspired to sell us a person who is no different than himself. In this very book right here, now I'll find the page as we get through it. In this very book, in the pages of this very book right here, Malik Zulu Shabazz, he says, the black Muslim militant, Naji Muhammad, let me read it to you. The black Muslim militant, Naji Muhammad, a veteran organizer and former boxer from Cleveland, Ohio, joined up with his idol, Khalid Muhammad, after appearing at the Million Man March in 1998. Najee, who is the current leader of the New Black Liberation Militia and former New Black Panther Party National Field Marshal under Malik Zulu Shabazz, was able to recruit many men into the Panther Party under Khalid's leadership. Wait a minute. Bald-headed and stocky like Khalid, the activist leader's claims to be the closest thing to Khalid. Bald and stocky like Khalid, the activist leader. That's how Khalid was said. He drag on that word. Leader, I go to Harriet. I said, Harriet. See, what you don't know is I am one of the ones who admired Dr. Khalid courage so much so that I even patterned myself after Dr. Khalid without the strong verbal disdain for the European, the devil. But he had a strong verbal disdain. He verbalized that I will, if I was with Nat Turner, yeah, I'd have went to house, to plantation to plantation, cutting white, killing white. I can't say, the European, they got us right now until we get out on YouTube. But you know Dr. Khalid. But anyway, Najee claimed, I got to put one more claim up here before I bring in my guest. Najee claimed, he told the newspaper people, he claimed to people that he was born. That's okay. That's okay. Born into the Nation of Islam, went to Muhammadan University of Islam in Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to stop right there because we turned every stone. We peeked through every window. There right, yuck, babe. We peeked through every window. We pulled the grass aside. Look at your neighbor and say, grass aside. We pulled the grass aside. We looked under the carpet. Oh, yeah, we looked under the carpet. Uh-huh. We looked everywhere. We pulled everything out the house except the kitchen sink. And we found bro Damon X from Cleveland, Ohio. Look at your neighbor and say, Cleveland, Ohio. Then I want y'all to know that on the way out the door, there's a Cash App. And if you don't like the Cash App, there's also a ATM at the door. And the Lord needs your change, but he loves your paper. Hey, David X, you gotta work with me. You gotta work with me.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Lord loves your change. Yeah, we went to the ends of the earth to find Brother David X. Yeah, we went to Idaho. There wasn't no David X. We looked in the wind. There wasn't no David X. Then we went to Mississippi. There was no David X. You hear what I say? Then we hit all the way around there to Blackburn, Ohio. They call it Akron. Look at your neighbor and say Blackburn, but they call it Akron. We went to Akron, Ohio. Oh, yes, we did. We ended all the way up in Cincinnati, and we're seeing Grandmaster J. But there was no a Damon X. But then we went to Cleveland, and in a still small voice, the God was there. And see, if anybody knew that scripture, y'all know that's see, if anybody knew that scripture, then he wasn't in the wind, he wasn't in the fire, but in a still small voice. So with that being said, family, thank you for tuning in for Mosque World TV, family. All jokes aside, one of the things that I subscribe to is truth. And whether the truth forces me to change my way of thinking, my way of life, hey, that's just what the truth going to have to do. And now, the truth of Mosque World TV is about people out there preying on our people as activists. Let me say it like this. There was a time that the activist was the leader of the community. They was respected. And many times their judgment was taken serious because they had the best interest of the people. So in the 80s and in the 90s, when people like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was rebuilding the Nation of Islam, people took his word for it. And they took his word for it because he actually had a track record to vouch for his word.
That's right.
So it was easy to take his word. When you look at people like Martin Luther King before Minister Louis Farrakhan, he had a long history that could be verified as well as confirmed before he stepped out into the forefront. Today, and this is a crazy thing that today, any brother or sister can show up at any militia, any protest, any march, and they can shake hands, they can scream Black Power, they can fill out a piece of paper, and the next thing you know, they can join the organization, and then 6 months later, they can start their own, and the people would think that they're legitimate. And then you can take someone like Malik Zulu Shabazz, who was at Howard University, that all he was a promoter. He was never, and he said it out his own mouth, he was never a member of the Nation of Islam. This is what he told me personally. He was never a member of the Nation of Islam. He was a promoter. He brought the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to Howard University. He was a promoter, and he brought Dr. Khalid. And him and Dr. Khalid developed a relationship. But he was a promoter. He was never, ever subscribing to the strict edicts of FOI. He was never a registered member. He said it out his mouth. He was a promoter. And he continues to be a promoter, but what he's promoting is confusion, illusions, and ultimately death. That's just the fact of the matter. And death don't always have to be a physical death. And so when you look at somebody like Najee Muhammad, who is certified, I'm sorry, I got to call a spade a spade. His doctor papers say he's certified retarded. Now, I'm going to tell you, my doctor paper might say the same thing too. I just ain't seen it yet. I don't know. But that's what his say. We got the goods. This guy, Najee Muhammad, while he was conscious, robs his own kind. The lady that he recently, I don't know if they still looking for him, but that he's accused of is one of our own. According to the police report, while he was conscious. This is not why he was before he was conscious. He took his own pop's money. And Malik is selling this guy to us as if he's a legitimate freedom fighter and literally writes this book and put him in this book, in the book of Khalid. One of the most honorable men that ever walked amongst us. And what I mean by one of the most honorable men that ever walked amongst us, he is a man that stuck to his principles. When you talk about freedom or death, he was free to be himself and he paid the ultimate price. And I'm telling you what it is. He was that much man to be who he wanted to be. And he paid the ultimate price. And to try to put a fraud to be confirmed by Dr. Khalid in his physical absence, that is the worst form of treason that we could ever see. Because Malik actually walked next to Khalid and he knows the truth. He knows this guy never met Khalid. But because he got pictures with Khalid, because he worked with Khalid, because he was Khalid underling, he could say something and people can believe it. Mm-hmm. But not on Mosque TV watch. So with that being said, we got brother Damon X. Najee is from Cleveland. Brother Damon X is from Cleveland, Ohio. And we're going to start from the top. We're going to tell a little bit about himself. And we're going to get into it. I'm telling you, man, Allah is amazing.
Yes, sir.
Amazing that we get to use. And let me say this before I bring my brother in. I want y'all to know that social media, as it relates to YouTube and this screen that I'm talking through YouTube, is one of the most valuable tools that we'll ever have in this day and time. This is one of the most valuable tools that we ever have. If you got a voice, it can be heard. If you're a fool, that also can be heard. Mm-hmm. But if you have a voice, you should let it be heard. Due to the simple fact the fool is outworking the intelligent. On social media, the fool is outworking the intelligent one.
That's true.
And what I mean is that every time they want to twerk, they put it in the mirror and they go on twerk. Every time they want to roll a new blunt, they put it in the mirror and they show you a fancy way to roll it. Every time they get a new car, every time they get a new purse, every time they get a new butt, every time they get a new chest, every time they get a new hair, every time they get a new something, they put the camera there. They outworking the intelligent one. So the intelligent one have to outwork them. You have to get your camera going. You have to outwork them. If you just drop a TikTok with a positive message, you have to outwork them. Don't cry about the lopsided of our community if you are a positive person and have a voice and you're not doing nothing with it. Don't cry about the twerking. Don't cry about the killing. Don't cry about it if you ain't doing nothing with it, because I'm going to tell you, some of our young generation, they'll lay each other down right on this camera. They'll do it right on IG. We've seen it before. So if they doing it, you have to do it too. But you have to go on the opposite direction of the lower vibration and bring it up high. With that being said, brother.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
All right.
So you are brother Damon X. Damon X, where are you from, brother?
right. I was born in Detroit, Michigan. But I spent considerable amount of growing up in Cleveland, Ohio. I would go back and forth between Detroit, Cleveland, and even spent some time in Toronto, Canada. But Cleveland's my home. I'm a graduate of Collinwood High School. I'm also a graduate of Cleveland State University. I grew up in the Collinwood area off Coit Road and St. Clair, specifically Coit Road and East 145th Street. So definitely Cleveland through and through. I love the city. I moved because of career, different career choice, but still connected to Cleveland all the way. Definitely go Browns, go Cavs, all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was strange was
Well, before you do that, brother.
okay.
Ben, when
Oh,
did
yeah,
you become
I'm-
a member of the Nation of Islam?
I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry.
No, because
No.
guess what? You know what it is?
Yeah.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Because when you heard that information,
Yes.
you was like, whoa.
And I have always checked out parts of your show, in the past, stuff that like kind of moved me. I think the biggest thing was dealing with Dwight York or Malachi York, and I got some information I tell you on that. That's what kind of drew. And then also, had a lot of respect for the brothers of the Moore Science Temple. And if I'm not mistaken, in Cleveland, and again, my Cleveland folks can verify it, but I believe that the Moore Science Temple had their temple on the east side of Cleveland, not too far from where our mosque was. I joined the Nation of Islam coming in my senior year at Collinwood High School. At that time, it was under the auspices of Brother Minister Roland Muhammad. What really got me to join the nation was basically, I grew up in hip hop. I call myself a hip hop connoisseur. Hip hop has been every part of my life. It's Black culture, so it's part of Black culture. So really hearing Public Enemy in 88, like 87, 88, and doing some research about them and then finding out their background was like, oh, wow. It got me, at that time, anybody growing up at that time, that was when consciousness in rap music was really, picking up and having its heyday. So, with the medallions and all of that. So I was just like, all go, like I told you before, before that, I was at 85%, I was at 85 through and through, I didn't grow up in the nation, nothing like that, but just with the consciousness of the music, with the culture, listen to Public Enemy, and then hearing Farrakhan and all of that, that kind of got me into it. Before that, I was strictly, when I really got knowledge itself, I was strictly Black Panthers. Anything I could read about Black Panthers, that's all it was. And that was like 1980, I want to say 86, 87. Yeah, probably around there when I really just got into the Black Panthers. I can't tell you honestly what keyed it off. I don't know if it was an interview or something I saw on TV, but it was just like Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Oakland, the town. That's all I wanted to read about. And then reading about the struggles they had, also the confrontations they had with Dr. Melinda Karinga's US organization on campus in California, just all that stuff. I was just reading. And, just to say that I'm not a front, also during that time, I was homeless for some time. So a lot of times what I would do is go to the library and just read, like just nothing else for me to do at that time, because I was a young teenager, and experiencing homelessness and all I would do was just read. So everything I read was, about the Black Panther Party. So I guess I'll show in my zest for knowledge and breaking the rules, probably breaking the law. I couldn't take the books with me, so they always had those little alarms in the books, like right in the cover of the books. So I would rip out the cover of the books and take the books with me, because it's like, man, if I'm going to be out in the street, I'm going to have something to read if I can't read it here, right? And as a symbol of where I came from to now, it was like I still have these books. So I wanted to show you some of the books that I ripped up from the library back in 1986. Here was one. This is Huey P. Newton's Revolutionary Suicide, which was a great book. Read that book. Another book was To Die for the People. And you see, this stuff was ripped off, and these books are fairly old, but To Die for the People. That was another book. Okay. Of course, in the 90s, when I was in college, this was also favorite book, Seize the Time, so definitely love Black Panther Party. And then something that was funny, and it goes back to what you're talking about right now, Brother Tariq, is
He got me, Tariq.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Taharka Bay. It's all good, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brother Taharka. So there was a member of the Black Panther Party who worked undercover for the CIA, who was a real agent or a real informant, we can say. A lot of times, and I think I heard you say that, a lot of times we throw around that word agent. It gets throws around in the nation. It gets thrown around everywhere. And I'm like this. I have to use common sense and actual facts. If so many people are agents and working for the government, then the black population for unemployment should definitely be lower than what it is. You know what I mean? But I think informant was good. So I think if you heard of a brother named Earl Anthony, he was an informant and for the Black Panther Party, and he wrote 2 books. All right, the first book I ripped off. Again, this is back, was a book called Picking Up the Gun by Earl Anthony. All right, Picking Up the Gun. So if any of you all ever read that book, definitely check that out, Picking Up the Gun. And then he had a second book called Spitting in the Wind. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it in there. Spitting in the Wind by Earl Anthony. And then it talks about him growing up in Los Angeles and how he joined the Black Panther Party and how he says he was blackmailed to basically snitch on the Black Panther Party because the FBI was going to throw him in prison for alleged bombings. But he was definitely a snitch. And then hearing your story about that stuff, about the Black Panther Party, it goes back to this book. So if anybody ever read Earl Anthony, E-A-R-L, Anthony, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y, you can Google it. I'm pretty sure somewhere on the internet, those books are on there. But if you read those books and see what's going on right now, Brother Taharka, you can see a correlation. This stuff happened back in the 60s, and then look what we're going through now. But his stuff was definitely, okay, right. So mine again, I ripped it off. I ripped mine off, but the actual book. But I was really into the Black Panther Party. From there, got into Malcolm X, and we'll go further on that. But just to go all the way down again, that was my beginnings into getting knowledge of self and really just being finding everything we can. So from then on, I joined the Nation of Islam my senior year of high school. Actually, total of three of us joined Muhammad's Mosque number 18 when it was on Miles. And our mosque used to be a former funeral home. So those in Cleveland that know Miles near 131st, they know, they can verify that. And I joined there in 1989. All right, so that's when I joined. So what was funny was, I had your show and I'm listening to it and I'm doing something else. Then I'm hearing you pulled up the article that was in Cleveland Scene magazine where it stated that Brother Najee was born in 1965, and the article was from January 29, 2015, and I think it stated that he was 50 years old. And then we all know that the messenger departed from us in 1975. So what caught my eye was, anything Cleveland, I was like, oh, I'm just got to hear it. I didn't have no intention on anything like that, but I'm just like, wait, let me see. So one thing that, if you could bring it up again, one thing that like really caught my eye, and it was like, I sent you an email, because I was like, wait a minute, it says that he was born into the Nation of Islam, and he went to the Muhammad University of Islam, or MUI, in Cleveland, Ohio. So my thing was, when I saw that, I was like, there is no MUI in Cleveland. It wasn't there when I joined. So what I did was I was able to get in contact with my former lieutenant, and I asked my former lieutenant, I was like, Brother Shaw, was there a Muhammad University? Because he was born into the nation. His parents, were all registered Muslims. He was born into the nation, and he was only a couple of years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But he was our lieutenant. So I asked him, I was like, hey, was there ever a MUI in Cleveland? And he was like, nah. He was like, if there was one, it might have been during the first resurrection. That's what we call the first resurrection, when the messenger was among us. But not really too sure on that. So again, when I'm coming on your show, I'm giving you my actual facts, my proof. Again, if somebody can come on and show something else and prove it, hey, it's cool. But I know when I was soldiering in Cleveland, Ohio, there was no MUI. Again, our mosque was a old funeral home.
And let me, if you may. So why this is so important is because they are making our leaders. There was some writings back in, if I'm not mistaken, in the 60s that, if there's going to be a leader, we'll give it to them. We'll make them a leader. And they're making our leaders, and they're selling them to us, and they look like us. They talk like us. They walk like us. They even get mad like us. They do all the body language that we may do in a certain situation that calls for the body language that we display. So they come off just like us. And so when you look at this, it says the prince is uncompromising to imperialists, evils of the prisons, and now his emergence to one of the most powerful voices in North America and the Black world. Now, the funny thing about that is nobody knows no Najee as one of the most powerful voices in North America. Nobody knows. But this is a literal article that is circulating in the public. And this is why I try to tell people how the media is in on it also. I showed that last night when the was it last night or the night before last, where they call these camera crews out to follow them, because the camera crews, these media crews, are the ones that make sure that the public get a full dose of this hypnosis. You know what I mean? And these fake leaders. It said,
and then, not to cut you off, but I did. I'm sorry, Brother Taharka. But then it's like, again, when I'm looking at this article, we got this from the Cleveland Scene. And Cleveland Scene is basically a free alternative newspaper to the Plain Dealer, which is, the mainstay newspaper of Cleveland. So my whole thing is on that was reading that. I'm thinking what you said, it could be a setup, or it could be just an overzealous a reporter trying to get his or her name in the books by getting some shock value. And what's more shocking than anything that has to do with Islam, the Nation of Islam, Khalid Muhammad, anti-Semitism, so-called anti-Semitism, Black Panther, guns, revolution. Those are like all, those are all key words that
I call them hot words. They call hot words. Hot trigger words.
Yes.
And those hot trigger words is the ones that put the crosshairs on our people back. And in reality, the ones, and we don't mind. We always been targeted. So that's not a big deal. Right. I mean, we always been targeted. but being targeted systematically by those that look like us, helping the crosshairs to be projected in the right on us, that's the issue. But we always been targeted, so that's not the issue. The issue is that our people are at the forefront of this targeting by being the hand for those who we don't see, and that's the problem.
And let me tell you, Brother Taharka, you know, being a member of the Nation of Islam, we were definitely targeted.
Absolutely.
If again, for those back in the 90s, especially that might be watching your show, that might be from Cleveland, you know, you would always see the FOI in front of Woolworths downtown Cleveland on Euclid, you know, getting our papers, selling it to all walks of life. You know what I mean? We were down there, and then an incident, I remember our captain told us that they received word that, you know, let me go back. The FBI headquarters in Cleveland is basically from where we would, you know, we would sell our papers, probably 5-6 minutes from where we would sell our papers downtown, and found out that people were taking pictures of us. You know, pictures were circulating, you know, throughout Cleveland Police Department, like all stuff. We were never doing anything, you know, illegal, weren't harassing anybody. Just, you know, if you seen us, we pushing our program, we selling the papers, just trying to get the information out. So, you know, you would see us down there, you would see us all over, especially on the east side, basically on the east side of the city. So when that came up, I was like, I had never seen this brother. And then, you know, I asked around. You state that, or it stated in the article that he was what was it that he received his political and spiritual training, such as
I'll read it. It says born into the Nation of Islam, went to Muhammad University of Islam in Cleveland, Ohio. The prince received political and spiritual training from the foremost Muslim leaders such as Minister Malcolm X and his spiritual father, Minister Louis Farrakhan, in the Nation of Islam.
Now, in the nation, we always say, yeah, you know, our spiritual father is Brother Minister. Like, you know, that's just a term that's being used. But I'm just saying, okay, you received your political and spiritual training. You know, brother Minister is not into politics.
Tell it, bro. Anybody,
you know, he might speak on political issues because, you know, this is our planet. You know what I mean? So we want to know what's just going on. But he's not running for office. You know, we all know about the messenger about putting the Muslim program into Congress, which we know that wouldn't happen because of who we're dealing with. But as far as politics, you know, I think the minister, I can remember the minister talking about politics was during Barack Obama's run, and that was because he was a black president.
And I can say before that, brother, if you allow me to, because one of the most inspirational moments in history for me is when he was helping Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was like the moment for me. Like I was semi-conscious. You follow what I'm saying? I was, but that right there, when he said, "If you put your hand on Jesse." That right there. But to your point, brother, anybody that are in the true conscious community, and I'm not talking about this fake internet stuff. I'm talking about those with elders, those that have been around, know that the Nation of Islam does not involve themselves in political matters. Anybody that's in the true know of what it is to be conscious, whether
if you want to run for office, if you're in the nation, you want to run for office. I'm like, you know, I'm more or less something. I was speaking with Chuck D long time ago, and I was like totally against. Man, I don't want to vote. I don't want to do none of that. And then he brought something up to me when we were just talking, that really, if you look at it from a local aspect, you can do more for your community participating in the process locally. And then when he brought that down, I was like, wow, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, back then, again, I'm young. You know, I think I know everything. You know how when you get this knowledge yourself, Brother Zaharka, you think you know everything. You want to tell everybody. So, you know, I was kind of arrogant, you know, thought I knew everything. You know how you get when you get, you know, you just got to tell everybody, you know, oh, no, you're eating pork? Let me tell you about pork. You know, oh, the white man's the devil, like all of that. Brother Talk, I was hardcore into it. You know what I'm saying? When you get that knowledge yourself.
I mean, I was like that.
And it's like you can see how, you know, when these are Christian brothers and sisters, when, you know, it's almost like when they get the Holy Ghost and they want to talk about everything, how, you know, how just emphatic they are in their theology. So when you got knowledge yourself, you feel just as emphatic. It's like, yo, and then you look at everything different. You look on a different landscape now. Like, wow. So when he brought that up to me, it was like, you know, I want to, you know, get involved, at least vote on local issues, you know. So I'm an educator, I'm a teacher. So anything that's dealing with maybe increasing taxes, maybe to help pay for books or to help keep the library open, I will vote for that. You know, something that's local that I can see an immediate effect. The national level, you know, I'm not too fond on that, but we're not here for that. But that's what I mean about political, you know, on that. I'll get it to on that part. But, you know, as far as and I really got into politics. I think I really not got into it, but really paid more attention was when Barack Obama became president. And I really wanted to just hear what all these white folks in the media would have to say. You know what I'm saying? But then it was like, okay, they saying some other stuff. Because before I would never watch, you know, national news and stuff like that. It was like, I'll stick to local news and just keep it on there. So that was on there. So when you read that, and again, I was doing something else and I had to stop and look at that, I was like, wow, that didn't make any sense. And then too, you know, it says that he was born in 1965, you know, and the messenger departed in 1975. So then again, I had an issue with that too. That was just like, okay, so that means he was 10 years old, you know, but nobody, you know, like and Cleveland is small, you know. When I joined again in '89, you know, I had an opportunity to meet, you know, some of the brothers and sisters that were still part of the nation in the first resurrection. But then, you know, just like with any other groups, you got those who are disenchanted, who don't like Farrakhan. In Cleveland, there's several sects of or off groups of the Nation of Islam, you know, that people have under different, you know, under people who were either ministers under the Most Honorable Najee Muhammad, or they were, you know, just registered members and they created their own thing because they didn't like Farrakhan for whatever reason. And again, you can have 2 or 3 shows, brother, about why people like Farrakhan or why people don't like Farrakhan. But that's basically what it was. So when I moved back to Cleveland, you know, and I'm checking everybody out. You know, I'm just doing the research. You know, it was just these off groups just didn't, you know, it just wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It just wasn't the same. So, you know, but I would still befriend, you know, some of the brothers, you know, FOI, you know, under, you know, different leaderships. But it was always like, oh, you were Farrakhan, so, you know, we can't talk to you type of thing. Just like real kindergarten mentality that was going on, you know. But even through all of that, I still don't remember seeing this brother Najee. You know, I don't remember seeing him. He never soldiered with me. You know, again, I asked my former lieutenant, hey, you were born in the nation right there in Cleveland. Do you know this brother? I told him the name, showed him the picture. He was like, man, I had never seen him before. You know, so I don't know where that came from. Maybe he's from the first resurrection, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And then based on his, you know,
let me ask you a question, just so we can make sure. Is there a Salas Muhammad temple there? I mean,
You know what? Yes. Later on, there was there was some, and I'm not going to bring nation business, you know, in the public forum, but there was a change in leadership, I'll say, at Muhammad's Mosque 18, and there was a lot of stuff that was going on. Probably around 1996, 1997, Silas Muhammad temple, mosque, masjid, whatever you want to call it, opened up in East Cleveland on Hayden Avenue. I'll never forget this. We had another minister, brother minister Salih Muhammad from Florida. He's from Cleveland. We basically studied up. Well, he started up a study group, and you know, just to carry on the teachings and really get away from a lot of the riffraff that was going on concerning the leadership at 18. And Brother Salih, great brother, man, a master teacher, like a master teacher. Like I can really say I've learned so much from that brother in my limited time. And then he's also the one that would bring to Cleveland. He was the one that brought Brother Khalid to Cleveland, was Brother Minister Salih Muhammad. We went down there. Brother Salih decided for some of us to go down there and basically, you know, befriend brother, you know, the followers of Brother Salih. So, and I remember they had a little storefront mosque on Hayden in East Cleveland, which was really right down the street from where I grew up. So we went in there. I'll never forget this, Brother Tarka. We went in there, and the first thing, you know, again, when you're dealing with offshoot groups, everyone has different takes, different interpretations of the teachings, you know, just like the Bible, just like the Quran, you have all these interpretations, right? So we went down there and for one of their meetings, and you know, went down there and listened to them speak, and they, you know, we made up the congregation, so to speak, you know, because it was more of us going to visit and, you know, befriend, you know, try to hook up, do some things positive for the community. And first thing they started talking about when that brother, I guess the minister from them, Najee Muhammad is dead. He's never coming back. And those who are trying to say that he's still alive is this, and this, like, you know, and you know, he's talking about us, you know, because, okay, we still, you know, we're part of the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So it's kind of like, why are you attacking us? We came down, we were invited. We came down there, show some peace, you know, and trying to basically bring a new thing to Cleveland when it comes to the Nation of Islam locally, because again, there was some issues in the past. All right.
So you was well rooted in NOI in the Nation of Islam. I mean, in Cleveland, I mean to say.
Yeah. So well rooted. I mean, even during my time in Cleveland State University, everybody knew. If you knew Damon X from 1990 to 1998, you definitely knew Damon X. Like I kept that up. I represented, you know, I represented. Everybody knew. It came so much where I would have, and I'm gonna send this to you, but this is a newspaper article from the Cleveland Jewish News that a professor at Cleveland State wrote about me, calling me the merchant of hate. All right.
Hey, they wasn't playing with y'all in the night.
They wasn't playing with us. Another one from the Cleveland Jewish News, and I'll send this to you so you can read it, bro. But Damon X strikes again.
That's what I'm talking about.
So report, and then they're under the tagline: reporter questions Holocaust, Jews' roles in slave trade and existence of Israel in an offensive diatribe. So I was dealing with a lot of stuff, but I was definitely representing. All right. So that's why it was like, you know, and also I had a very popular college radio show where I was playing rap music. And the last hour, sometimes 2 hours, I would just play Farrakhan tapes on air at Cleveland State University. So I was on there for about 1.5 years. Then all of a sudden I got the axe. Like, oh, you don't have your show no more. We don't need you. We know why. I had the highest rated show.
You a hate monger.
Yeah,
No,
that
was one of their famous words. A hate monger.
Yep, hate monger. Never raised a fist to anyone. And then maybe for another show, anytime you're talking about the so-called chosen people of Israel and all of that, I can come in and give you a little bit more. But I remember at Cleveland State, I was in a computer lab based on an article, and again, I'll get into it later. But just wanted to give you a little info on who I am. You know, I wrote an article explaining that Black people are the chosen, you know, people of God, and that the Jews stole our birthright. And I wrote a newspaper article in the Black newspaper and provided text, evidence, used all Jewish evidence, so no one can say this is like a Farrakhan type of thing. Man, woo, caused a lot of drama. I was in a computer lab working on a paper, and some Jewish kids were a couple of seats down from me talking about they wanted to kill me, but they didn't know who I was. They didn't know what I looked like. And I'm sitting right down there typing, and they're like real, these devils was like real, like, oh yeah, he's saying that we're not real Jews, and he's an anti-Semite. Oh, I've had like several death threats as a student at Cleveland State University.
Wow.
And I got stuff to back that up too, but that's for another time. But just to say, yeah, this who I am. Like at that time, anybody in Cleveland know, okay, we know Damon X. I'm not no fraud. I'm not somebody that, claims to be one thing and something else. I'm just, I'm very well known. And I think I really became well known because of music and, my activism, at Cleveland State. That's basically where it's at. So with that, going back to Najee, it was just like, okay, I never seen that brother. When I wasn't in Mosque 18 and they were going through so many transitions, even people in the later years, because I think in your article, it said he came back in like 1998 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I know an MGT from the Mosque, because right now Mosque 18 has turned into a study group, so it's not even like a full-fledged mosque anymore, but it's now a study group. But I asked an MGT who went under who joined 18 during that time, do you know this brother? She didn't know him. She was like, I've never seen him. So I'm like, okay, where is this? What mosque is this brother coming from? Because it definitely isn't under Farrakhan. There's only one Farrakhan mosque in Cleveland. You have a Silas mosque, and that didn't last. You have another one from Brother Theodore Hamza, who was, if I'm not mistaken, he used to be a minister of the nation under the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He established his own Nation of Islam because, again, he had an issue with Farrakhan for whatever reason. But yeah, Silas was late, but it was either locally, local Muslims started their own thing, and the other ones who didn't start their own Nation of Islam, they all joined. They all went the Sunni way and belonged to the First Cleveland Mosque, and that was under the auspices of the messenger's son, brother Minister Warith Dean. Yeah. So that, so a lot of the Sunni black Muslims, are under, War of Deen. And they had a pretty much solid standing, before, other Muslims from the Middle East, like from Palestine and, India and all of that, before they came in, that was like a big mosque at the time. And that mosque too, if anybody know in Cleveland, again, that mosque was right on Euclid, and I think close to East 105th. I can't remember, but if everybody remember Masjid Bilal, that was War of Deen's mosque there too. So I don't know where this brother said he was what mosque he was in, because he definitely wasn't in the ones that I mentioned. Also, and I wrote down some notes when you had your show. It says that on the article, it says that he served as captain of the FOI before being.
Yes, I wanted to get into that, because if he was captain of the FOI, that's a very prestigious position. Anybody ain't the captain of the FOI.
Very, very much so. My captain, Captain William Muhammad, man, Brother Tarka, you know Professor Griff. Absolutely. From Public Enemy. Captain William was our Professor Griff. Same size, same height, same stature. Man, can martial art you all to death. Like, he put the fear in me, like, woo, when we was on, like, I think that's one reason why we was so strong, because he didn't play. Like, he was on, you could tell he was on his job. Like, you had to go through some things, and you just can't just say I'm a captain. And then it's like, you're a captain from where? Like, what mosque? And then you have to be transferred, and then there's still protocol that has to be used to be transferred. So where? It's like, we don't know. But okay. And then something on there, it said that he was an assistant captain. Like, I've never heard of the term assistant captain. We had a captain, lieutenant. We also might have had, well, I know because our numbers at one time would fluctuate. We had a lot of FOI, so we had squad leaders. You know what I mean? But we never had an assistant captain. Brother assistant captain. No, it was no brother assistant captain. So I don't know if that was maybe a mistake by the newspaper article, or if that's just what he said. And if that's what he said, nah, bro, that just raised red flags for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I don't know what the what the protocol is in the Moorish Science Temple, but when you hear something that's just like, that's that's very near correct, but it's not 100%.
Absolutely, brother. I literally have challenged every Moorish thought with these lies over the last 4 or 5 years, and that's exactly how it goes. You hear it. I'm trying to get this thing together. You hear it, and you like, hold up, that's close, but hold up, you're missing something.
You're missing
something. This is the part
you're
missing right here.
And then I know we're jumping around the place, but again, I don't want to bore your listeners and whatnot. But one thing that was surprising, when I was in college too, I pledged Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. One of the main reasons for pledging that prestigious fraternity was, of course, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan pledged when he was in college, and he was dropped from the line because of his revolutionary spirit, I would say. Also, too, Brother Khalid pledged and joined Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And again, at that time, those are, like you said, those are like two. Brother Khalid, Minister Farrakhan were like my heroes. Like, you don't say nothing about them, because we're going to have some issues. Like, don't say nothing about them to me, anything they did my research, boom. I joined Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated based on my love for those two men. And I remember right after, the infamous King College speech
yes,
that Brother Khalid came. All right, he came to Kent State, which is about 45 minutes from Cleveland. And I remember we all went to there. I wasn't pledging at this time. I didn't pledge until 1997, but this was I forget what year King College happened. I don't know if it was 95 or so. I can't remember, but I remember I think it was like a week or 2 weeks he came to Kent State. And woo, place was packed, just and just as fiery as Brother Khalid was there. At King College, he was at Kent State, at that time. So I remember that. Then again, because of myself aligning with Brother Minister Salih Muhammad and Brother Khalid go way back, to the nation under when the messenger was among us. So him and Khalid real tight. And I don't think and Khalid had some issues with Brother Minister Rowland for issues I won't bring up, but there was issues, and Brother Mr. Rowland, I think, kind of asked him, "Hey, would you come up to Cleveland?" I don't think he would, because you know how Brother Khalid was. Brother Khalid was, if he loves you, he loves you. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. He was. This one thing I really learned from him. He shoots straight from the hip, like he don't play, So, but him and Brother Minister Salih went back so far, like brothers, Salih's like, hey, we trying to, do some fundraising. We want to, really get the nation really started up on the right track here. So, brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad would come. So like the first time he came, I was part of his security detail. So just, dealing with that, I didn't have any time to really take pictures or something. But his very last speech, which I sent you pictures that I took, that you see the picture with me, myself, and him. That was
right
he
now.
demanded. He was, brother, I need you to take pictures. When we go after his speech, we went to a real famous eatery. I can't remember the eatery. It was a Black-owned eatery in East Cleveland, off Euclid and Coit Road. I don't even think it's there anymore, but it's a real popular spot. So I sent you some pictures, and my duty was, brother Dr. Khalid said, hey, anytime anybody wants to take a picture with me, I need you to take these pictures. Get these pictures quick. Take these pictures. So that was my job that he assigned me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what some of the pictures I just wanted to take you. So I took, and I had to look for them, and I found them. I wanted to send them to you because, again, I know one of your things was, how come we can't see pictures of certain individuals with Dr. Khalid? And again, either if you're on security details, of course you're not taking no pictures. You don't have time for that. But it's like, yeah, still, you can still get a picture. And then that was something too. It's like, if you're supposed to be the second coming of Khalid, and I never heard of nobody being called the second coming of Khalid in Cleveland. I mean, hell, I think I'm closer to being the second coming of Khalid, all this hell that I was dealing with these Jews and these devils at Cleveland State University, but I would never even think about it. I'm the second. I'm not even worthy. I'm not even worthy on that level. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even say that.
So there we go with our brother Damon X right there with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And that's one of the first pictures the brother sent me. Because one thing that I always,
and it's not Photoshop, bro.
One of the things that always blows me away is how people say something. Now, of course, I go a lot of places and I meet some notable people, and I don't be taking pictures. I get that. Right. But when you claim to be the number one student, the protege, because that's what he's being sold as, the protege of Dr. Khalid, and you don't have one legitimate picture, and every picture, which is only about 2, every one of them is Photoshop and grainy. Every single one of them It's
Bro, that was the first
photoshopped and
thing.
grainy.
That's the first thing. If you notice, when I saw your show, I emailed you. I looked for that picture and sent it to you because I know that was one of your first things. You know, that was your first thing, and I was like, okay, I don't want them to think that I'm just some internet troll, you know, just to send some type of picture, you know. And then there's a website, bro. I'll try to find a website. There's a website that states if you can send an image to this website, and it will tell you if the image has been photoshopped or not. I found this out like 2 weeks ago. There's some website. Once I get the website, I'll give you the address, and you can give it to your listeners too. But it's a legitimate website that you can put any image to see if the image is photoshopped or if it's a actual picture.
And look at this picture.
Yeah, that kind of look weird.
Like 99, your picture that bad from 99?
Yeah. Bro, that picture with Khalid was 90. I think that was 95. I took that picture, I think. Yeah, I think that was 95 or 96 possibly. And I just took, that was with a regular camera. You know, that wasn't with no highfalutin camera. That was just a regular camera. And that's weird because when you brought that picture up, Brother Taharka, when you brought that picture up, it reminded me of one thing. There was, I know you're familiar with Umar Johnson.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Umar Johnson was posting, and I think maybe it was your show. Matter of fact, I think it was. Maybe it was your show, or Lenore, this other brother Lenore that's been going. It was pictures of his of Umar's alleged diplomas, and bro, that thing looked like it was. It looked like it was.
Yeah,
bro, I could show you. I mean, I'll bring you my master's degree and my undergraduate degree. And when you see those, and I was looking at those, I was like, some just don't look right. That looked Photoshop filtered. How hard is it just to take a picture of your diploma? And then the diploma didn't even look like it's in a frame. Hell, I spent $250 on my frames. Like, you know, I'm proud of that. You know, just regardless of the fact, I'm proud of that. And then when it was those pictures, when I saw that picture of that brother and whatever Photoshop, I'm gonna say it's Photoshop till prove otherwise. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Who knows? You know, maybe it is actual. You know, we know that one isn't Photoshop, but that one at the bottom. All right.
But these are the only pictures. The thing is that when you claim to be a protege of somebody,
yeah,
be his number one student, and this all you got.
Okay, bruh. And then that you bring up protege. All right. I crossed into Omega in 1997. Prior to that, Brother Khalid took a liking to me. And this is when he was living in New York. And we would talk sparingly from time to time. Just I give him a call. You know, assalamu alaikum, bro. How you doing? You know, this Damon X is checking in with you. You know, make sure everything is all right. And you know, just always kept in touch. You know, talk to him. You know, always talked about the teachings. You know, if he noticed I was doing something wrong or just the littlest thing, he was on it. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, and I knew it was out of love, but it was just like, yeah, you know. Just like with Brother Minister Farrakhan, you got to be, you know, you just got to be right and on point all the time, you know, because these brothers commend that type of respect and that type of honor. So, and I say all that to say this was when I pledged, Dr. Khalid number changes all the time. So I couldn't get in contact with him. Brother Salih Muhammad, he went back to Florida, so I didn't have an opportunity to get in contact with him. So I really wanted Dr. Khalid to see me, you know, pledge Omega or cross over into Omega, you know, because you know, that's you know, that's something that was important to me. He was one of the reasons why. And at that time, right before, and I didn't know it at the time, he was in Cleveland. He spent a little bit more time coming in and out of Cleveland because he was creating a new holiday called Gina May. It was like an alternative to Thanksgiving. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the Gina May holiday was created in Cleveland, Ohio, on the east side, at this African, I think it was like a bookstore type, kind of like cafe on Buckeye. And it was funny because he came to speak again. And at that time, that's when I told him, hey, you know, I just crossed over into Omega, you know, and then we had a real long talk, you know, gave me a lot of information and stuff. And it was like, at that time, I don't ever remember seeing this brother Najee nowhere. Like nowhere. Like when I came up to him, you know, when I came up to Brother Khalid, I don't remember seeing that brother that you got posted. I don't remember seeing him nowhere. So I don't know like what that timeline is. It would be great if you was able to find out, you know, where he's at. Hopefully, you know, he's not incarcerated, but you know, for him to like clear up some things, you know. And then it came down to it that, okay, something just ain't right. The information is not right. Now, when you started off, you were talking about brother Malik Zulu Shabazz. I came across brother Malik Zulu Shabazz again. When I started college, I was involved in the I worked for an independent rap magazine based out of Cleveland called It's a Rap Magazine. And that was my foray into the music industry. And then from there on, I did a lot of promotion and marketing for a lot of artists and a lot of labels throughout the 90s. That's kind of what got me through college as well. But I came across brother Malik. Brother Malik was part of a rap group. I came across him in 1991, I think. He had a rap group called Defiant Giants.
That's right.
And if anybody in DC know, Defiant Giants were basically like a cross between Public Enemy and X-Clan kind of thing, you know, but they were all Howard graduates. And what was his name in Defiant Giants? He went under Zulu King. What's his? I think his government name was Perry Lewis or something. Thing that starts with the P. I can't remember. But he was like that was the name of the group. And I actually liked Defiant Giants. I thought Defiant Giants was dope. They only put out a little EP cassette. I don't have the cassette anymore, but I found it on if you Google it, Defiant Giants, Malik Zulu Shabazz, it will pop up.
Zulu King Paris.
Paris, that's what it was.
It was Zulu King Paris.
That's the name. That's the name. And that's the first time I ever heard of Malik. This is before Khalid. I came across him because of yep, that's the Defiant Giants. And they had like a little 6-song EP called Children.
I'm actually doing a what you call one of them biographies without permission.
Oh, like a documentary?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got him. I know who he is.
Yeah, so Defiant Giant. So that's my first introduction of before he was known as Malik Zulu Shabazz. But then, you know, again, within the conscious community at that time, it was like, you know, you look at him and it was like, wait, where I seen that brother before? And then when it came back, it was like, you know, oh yeah, he was part of Defiant Giants. And they weren't big. You were basically, if you were like really,
they were pretty much a college tour type group. They had a lot,
and maybe not even that, bro. Yeah. Well, you know what? They probably.
I'm from the
DMV,
Washington D.C.
So they probably traveled to the DMV.
Yeah, I'm from the DMV area, so I understand.
Right, but they definitely wasn't coming up to Ohio. I know that. But I liked them because oh, anybody that's down with Public Enemy and talking that black militant, to some beats, and yeah, I'm down. So they were cool. I don't think they really sold that much, but they that's my first inkling of Brother Malik at that time. And I actually for the magazine that I worked for, I actually did a review of their album. So because I think the editor, I think it came through the editor, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Damon X would definitely love this," and gave it to me, wanted me to listen to it. So that's how I came up, and I think that was in 1991. So that's how I came up through Malik. Now, something that came across that ties all this stuff together. Of course, I got kicked off of Facebook, so I haven't been on Facebook for probably about 2 years now. But before I was on there, Malik was on Facebook, and the stuff and this is before he wrote the book. And at first, the stuff that was being written, I thought it was like a fake account. I was like, this can't be Brother Malik. Like, it just.
Did you actually read the book?
No, and I'm gonna get into why.
Oh my goodness, bro.
I'm gonna get into why. So, but the stuff that was on the Facebook, come to find out, this was his Facebook page. But I'm thinking, here I am. I'm an educator. I have a bachelor's degree and I have a master's degree in education. Right? I'm still street. I'm still from the street. I don't let the degree make me bougie, unless I just want to act bougie, but I don't. But one thing that irks me as an educator, I hate misspellings. I hate bad grammar, and if you're supposed to be a lawyer, and my godfather is a lawyer, and he was on point, like with everything. Like you can talk, slang or ebonics around him. He just wasn't having that. He's one of them old school lawyers who went, and he graduated from Kent State Law School too. So when I saw that, I was like, what is this brother saying? And then he was just talking about it. Was like a lot of this stuff was really anti-Farrakhan. And it was weird because, for the 10-year anniversary of the Million Man March, Brother Malik was like one of the main organizers, one of the main people, So I'm just like, how did it come to the point where now, everything was just all negative. Everything was all negative. And then he was starting to write the book, and he would put excerpts out or talk about things. And I was just like, something just didn't jive with me with him with that. Like it was just like a bad spirit. I was just like, this ain't the same brother that I remember. Like when Dr. Khalid was alive, he just moved different. He talked different. Now, since our brother is no longer with us, like he just went like just downward. And then this stuff. And then one thing I want to say, and I'll get back to you. One thing I remember, and I think I can say this, and it's not. I don't think it's offensive to anybody. I remember I talked to Dr. Khalid, and after his ouster, and I remember Dr. Khalid never had an issue with Brother Farrakhan. This is what he told me personally. Never had an issue. He had an issue with people behind Farrakhan. That was his main issue. Like, he loved Brother Minister Farrakhan, like to the point where I really lost contact, and then he really, went on a different way. I know, just speaking with that brother, because I wanted to know what was really going on. And from what he told me, and again, he's closer to Brother Malik than he was to me. I mean, I get that, but I still think what he told me, being his fraternity brother and being a mentor, or being a mentee of his, is like, he really didn't like, people that were basically spokespersons for the minister, and he didn't want to deal with them. He always wanted to talk to the minister, and he always felt, I'll never forget this when he told me this, Brother Dark, he always felt that other individuals within the circle was preventing him from speaking with the minister directly. Like they were basically, he felt that he was being blocked.
Right.
And I always, when he told me that, I was like, wow, he never had issue. I remember too, when he that something that he told me also, told myself, told Brother Minister Salih too, was like when the minister relieved him of his position, that basically the minister gave him the green light just to go do you, like represent, be you who you are without being constrained. How all that changed, I can just tell you what the brother told me, what he told me. And I always thought when he kind of like was saying things that were disrespectful, I don't know if that was almost like a cry for help. Like, well, maybe if I just say some outlandish stuff, maybe that will get myself a meeting, because he really just wanted to meet and talk with Brother Minister Farrakhan himself. He didn't want nobody else. He just wanted to talk because he was like, that's my father. That's my spiritual father. I've been rolling with him. I don't want none of these other folks who are basically blocking. I want to speak to him, So I don't know what the riff was. I couldn't believe like some of the things that was said. I was like, wow, and I always think, I think I'm taking it to my grave that maybe that was his way of trying to communicate. But again, maybe it wasn't, because, again, Dr. Khalid was such an intelligent individual, So I don't know, but that was just like, when you were talking about that, I was just like, I remember that's what that brother told me specifically to my face to face, like we're talking right now. That's what he said. Of course, whatever he told Brother Malik might have been something different, might have been the truth, might have been a lie. But my thing is this now, all this stuff that you were exposing, what did Malcolm X say? It's always our duty to expose expose and then oppose people who are basically traitors to our community. And you've been doing a hell of a job exposing and then opposing. And I'm really learning a lot of stuff because, again, when I was reading his Facebook post, I was like, wow, man, you saying some stuff that's even more sacrilegious against the minister than just the stuff that Khalid was rambling on. Like what is going on? Like, what is going on? And then when you were bringing it up to point that he wasn't ever a member, I'm like, of the nation, I was like, oh, I know his grandfather was, or something like that. I think his grandfather was part of the nation or something like that. But if you look on the liner notes of the Defiant Giants on his thank yous, I mean, the stuff that he was saying, man, at that time I thought he was a member. I thought he was a member maybe of the Washington Mosque. You know what I mean? Because he was giving credence to Allah and the person Master Farad Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Khalid, Minister Farrakhan, like he was giving it up, and I'm just like, if you a supporter, you ain't gonna give it up like that, So maybe he's a believer.
I gotta ask you this. I got to ask you this. So on my show, just a sidebar real quick. On my show, we have our brother Dr. Marcelone. And he I gotta ask you, brother. we got
bro, let me say,
hold up, my brother. You're an educator. We have my brother Dr. Marcelone, who's a good friend of Morse World TV, and he has some words about the minister. He even surprised me with the words about the brother's on the thing. You know what I'm saying? So he says that he was a close associate with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. He was the inner circle of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. So I'm sure y'all met in.
I don't even know. Remember, I talked to you. I don't even know who this brother was. I didn't even know who he was. I mean, and then I tried to do a.
No, that's Doc. That's Doc. That's the Doc.
Yeah, the Mauricium, right? How do you say his name?
Maurice Zulu X. That's the
yeah.
Doc.
I ain't never heard of him, bro, till your show. So I tried
he was in the inner circle. He was in the inner circle.
I ain't never seen him. I don't know who he is, bro. He might have been in the inner circle of when
man, you ain't gonna do this to my Doc, man. No,
bro. I don't know that, brother, because the stuff that he talking about again, bro. When you're if some of these folks is really students, you know, some of the stuff that they saying is just like it is like, again, people like to use agent, informant, but sometimes we just got some goddamn fools that just.
no, but he joined in Mississippi, and
Okay.
he was in a Doc inner circle.
Okay. I don't know what time was this?
No, I don't know. That's just what that's my bro.
But I'm saying all these folks always got a problem with and I watched part of his show. That's why I would love to get him on there and just all right.
No, he say he take anybody on.
Oh, I mean that would be cool because some of this stuff I had to turn it off after a while. I tried to watch like 45 minutes.
You had to turn it off.
I had to turn it off, bro, because when you mix in truth with falsehood, it's kind of like you got 100% kosher beef product, and then you're throwing a little bit of pork in there too. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it bad. So I'm like looking at all this stuff that Khalid, I mean that Malik is doing right now. I question how true he really is, and I even question that book because brother minister is no longer amongst us, so he can't validate the truths or the lies in that book. And I'm just like, you catching this brother and doing some foolish stuff. Like I told you before, if Dr. Khalid was alive right now, Malik would be moving totally different. Totally.
Well, I think
this clown show that he's doing, bruh, you were saying something the other day that I've been saying for months. And look, I don't have no problem with anybody going after some white woman for being the catalyst for having Brother Emmett Till killed. You know, she should definitely be taken off the planet immediately. But you're a lawyer. You're supposed to be a lawyer. You represent Howard Law School. You went to Howard Law School, a prestigious black law school, and you're doing some of the most matchbook, you know, like remember those courses that used to be in the old matchbooks, Brother Harker? Like send in $20 and then you can get your diploma. You don't remember that stuff? Like he's doing stuff.
Mail order diploma.
Mail order. Bruh, the stuff that you've been showing on there, I wasn't watching it till you posted on there. That stuff, bruh, that would be stuff that I would do in high school. Like those would be moves I would do in high school thinking I'm doing something. Someone who is a lawyer, someone who went to a prestigious law school, this is like, and supposed to be a revolutionary, this stuff, and then you knocking on the wrong doors, and then you doing all that type of stuff. Like this is like high school shenanigans, bro. Like I wouldn't even do that. Like I don't even think Dr. Khalid would even did something like that. But then you got all these devils running around here free. Zimmerman, free. The cop who just killed Jalen Walker in Akron, free. The one who just killed my little brother, Tamir Rice. That was just before I left Cleveland. I lived like just 3 blocks from where he was killed. That fool tried to get a job in Pennsylvania, walking around free. walking around free. And we have a lot of killers in our community. Like killers like, man, look, give me the word. Like there's some, you know, there's some brothers like that just give me the word. They don't care about nothing. Like they're on a different level. You know, I can't get on that level. But there's someone like that. Like if we really about revolution and taking these evil people who have killed innocent people, how come we doing that? So we're going the safe route by looking for some old white woman? Like the Jews don't even do that, bro. The Jews go about it the right way, using law to find their old Hirschwitz and all these other Auschwitz concentration camp guards. They finding them, you know what I'm saying? But they're going about it the right way. You ain't never seen no Reuben Sandler walking around knocking on the door,
running in back, looking through back people patio windows.
Bruh, that's like, bruh, like, and to be honest, it's like you're making us look crazy. Like you're making the Black Panthers just look crazy. And you've had some it looked like some diehard, some real Black Panthers that, yo, like, yeah, those brothers are on point. Like
and they are point. Real.
Because what they do, you put them all in. Just like you got this Doc dude who mixes truth with falsehood. Oh yeah, Farrakhan was responsible for killing Malcolm X. Although the minister said that he contributed, he admitted it. Yeah, I contributed to that type of environment. But hell, if I was living back then too, and I was in the nation, I would be contributing to that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure if you were around when Noble Drill Lee was amongst us and somebody came at him wrong or came at him trying to do something, you would defend him too. And it will create an environment. Okay, and you know, but he's trying to mix, you know, he's like some devilish stuff. So I love to definitely get him on the show. I can't hear you, bro.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Look, we're not gonna get into this right now.
No, not now. Just in the future.
But hold up. Hey Doc.
What's going on?
So I got my brother here, right? And now we got some discrepancies going on. He is one of hold on, let me turn this up. He is one of Dr. Khalid Muhammad's associates, if you will.
I was going to say a mentor.
And he's a mentee of Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
And a frat brother.
A frat brother. Look, oh, he turned up. And a frat brother, mentee, his cameraman.
Right.
But he says, okay, first of all, you said some things that was disturbing to him because he honors the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And on my show, you said some things that are disturbing to him.
And I also honor Brother Dr. Khalid.
And he honors Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and he says he never seen you, he don't know who you are, and he's not sure about this inner circle. He said he would love to have a talk with you on the show one day.
I would love to talk with him.
All right. That would be great.
Talk with him. It will be a pleasure.
All right. Sounds great.
It'll be a pleasure. Mm-hmm.
So
you know, he has a I guess a PhD or some type of doctorate degree, so he's a level up from my master's degree. So you know, I think we can have a civilized conversation.
So you say you got a bachelor's or something?
Oh, I have a bachelor's and a master's in education.
Oh, okay. This guy, Doc, this guy, Damon X, he has a bachelor.
I mean, I'll go
making me nervous, man.
I'll go pull down my diploma.
So Doc, this is what I'm gonna do. Sunday night, if Damon X are ready, are you available?
I'll be available Sunday.
All right, Sunday night, and if Brother Damon X available, he's really busy. But if we can get him to be available, we want to have a talk. We want to get to the bottom of this to see how we can move forward past this, so we know who's who in our community and who's swimming.
And not really who's who.
I will be more than willing. I'm very interested to know about somebody who said that I'm not familiar with Dr. Khalid. I mean, I'm very interested.
He's interested in what?
If he's been around Khalid on that level, then there's no way he could have known me. There's no way he could have known Steve, because we all traveled together and we were coming out of town. We all met in the same places, unless I was running errands for him.
What year?
Say no more. Say no more.
No, what year?
Very interested to meet this brother.
What year? I just want to know what year. What year
Hold up,
was he
no, say no more. Say no more.
What year?
As far as about Minister Farrakhan, I appreciate his tenure toward Farrakhan, toward his belief.
Oh, but what year? What year were you part of the inner circle? I just want to know the. I just want to know the year.
Hold up, Doc.
But it's a hard. I just want to know the year because it might have been.
No. We're gonna wait till Sunday. Wait till Sunday, Dave.
All
right, Doc. Love you, big bro.
I love him, brother.
All right, so look, I ain't want to do it right now.
I just want to know what year, because if, like I said, if it was like I said, when I'm taking these pictures, I took those pictures. He wasn't around. Like I don't know. I remember Farrah. That's a whole nother thing on that. But Lil Farrakhan Khalid, Farrakhan Khalid was around when he was in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? But again, I don't know what year, but that can be easily sent up. But I definitely want to know the year. But I definitely like to know, what his issues, because again, Brother Tarka, we've talked about this. When you have all these offshoot groups and people who are jealous, it's always something. You know what I'm saying? It's always some. That's why you have all these offshoot groups of the nation. You got all these offshoot groups, bro. Bro, there's so many offshoot groups of the Nation of Islam. Like, we know about the Silences. We know about that one brother. I don't even know if he's still around in Kansas City. There's another one who calls himself the Mahdi in the Bay, like Oakland, San Francisco, I think. And it's so many, bro, that goes around. You know what I'm saying? It's like so many, and it's just like everything's about hating. Well, I don't like this, I don't like that, or I'm based on this, or really a lot of stuff is based on what you read, or what you heard. So I would just really like to, whatever the issue is he has for Farrakhan, I'd like to know, because at least in Cleveland with the people, we knew why these offshoots of the Nation of Islam, why they didn't like Farrakhan, because it was really a jealousy thing. Or they bring up, oh well, he went with War of Deen, and I didn't go with War of Deen, so I feel like I'm the true heir apparent of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
one thing. The crazy thing about it here in Baltimore, Silas was across the street from Farrakhan. If that's how
for real.
Yeah, right across the street, right on Garrison. Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely. Khalid Muhammad was on one side, and Silas, I forget the minister there, he was on the other side. But Silas Muhammad had a bakery there. Hey, that had the best fried fish when I used to eat.
Let me tell you, bro, because I don't want to bore you.
But they didn't conflict though.
Yeah. Now, if you look on one of the now, did you bring up Silas because of one of the pictures I showed you?
Oh yeah, let me bring up. No, not really.
Did you see who's in the background of that picture?
So look, I actually like Silas Muhammad. I like for me, I don't have a horse in a race, right?
Yeah.
But what I admire people that stick to their guns.
You know what? I didn't like Silas because of all the negative talk. I kind of was like, all right, it's cool, because Brother Khalid really liked Silas. Like, he really liked Silas. Like, he had a love for Silas because of the teachings and because of the reparation. Because at that time he was really in, Brother Khalid was really into reparation. So if you look at one of the pictures I sent you, the one where he's standing on the rostrum with the kente cloth, look to see who's on the right side of him in the back.
Let me see.
And then you can put it up there too, just so, because I didn't know if this is why you brought his name up or you just brought it up because you saw this. No, not that one.
All right, hold on. So
all these pictures are the pictures I took. So you can't go on Google and look for them because they don't exist.
That Khalid looked like he was the latest man.
He definitely was. He definitely was. But no, it wasn't that picture. Look,
Okay.
show the picture where he's standing on the rostrum.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
And then just for your listeners, I took these pictures back. I can't remember 90 something, but you know, again, Brother Taharka is all about show and prove and facts. Okay, no, not that one.
Oh, I got the other one. Okay. Okay. We ain't gonna show y'all everything now. Now I'm playing. This brother was just dropping them to me. Okay, here we go. I think this is it right here. There we go. That's it right there.
Okay. Lower, I don't know if you could blow it up. Lower, bam, right hand side. Right there.
That's Dr. Silas.
Dr. Silas came to Cleveland
Wow.
on behest of Dr. Khalid, and again because of our minister, you know, Minister Salih. Again, Minister Salih kind of like is a, you know, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if he talked to Minister Farrakhan and was like, yeah, you know, that would be a good show of unity, because even though Silas would say some stuff, you know, the minister always showed love. You know, I remember too on that. But you know, he was there. But also too, something else, because your show is so informative. So that was one issue that we had, Brother Taharka. Another issue we had was, and Brother Khalid had much respect for this brother. I would never have respect for this brother. Like, ain't nothing that nobody can say. But
what brother you referring to?
Okay, before I joined the Nation of Islam, like I told you, I was, you know, doing a lot of studying. I wanted to see, you know, what theology is real, what theology is actual facts and right and exact, and you know, right down to modern times. So for about a year and maybe 3 months, 4 months, I was really studying Dwight York, or at that time, he was calling himself Ilmanissa El Hadi Al Mahdi, or something like that, of the Hebrew Israelites. And one thing that kind of got me interested in him was, again, through rap. A lot of people in Brooklyn at that time was really pushing, you know, Nubian. That's where you really started hearing Nubian a lot. You know,
Right.
we started it through Dwight or Malachi or whatever million names he goes under. But this was something that was really disturbing. And I know people have their truths. All right. Remember I told you I was living in Canada for a couple of years. My mother lived there. So I was living there. And right before I was moving back, because Canada, nice place to visit. I wouldn't want to live there. But right before I moved back to Cleveland, I met this sister from Brooklyn, New York. We were in the 11th grade, we were in the 11th grade. We were in the 11th grade. And that's when I was really starting, you know, I'm just doing a lot of reading and stuff like that. And, you know, at that time, everybody's talking Nubian and hip and rap music. You know, everybody's wearing the red, black, and green with the Arabic writing. I can't remember what it said on there, but it was like real prominent in the late 80s. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what this is about too, you know. But I'll never forget, I wore one of these pins to school, you know. I wasn't a Nubian Islamic Hebrew, you know, but you know, oh, he's talking some good stuff, you know. So I'm wearing it. This sister, she was from Brooklyn. She was like a new student and stuff. I think she'd been there a couple of months. I never really talked to her, but then she saw the little pin that I had of the Nubian Islamic Hebrews, because they actually had a little mosque or a little temple, whatever, masjid, if you even want to call it that, in Canada, in Toronto, Canada. You know, wasn't a lot of people, you know, myself, my best friend. We would go up there from time to time and, you know, listen to them talk and, you know, just get the knowledge. You know what I mean? That's really just get the knowledge. So she, when she saw the pen, she was like, "Oh, you a Nubian Islamic Hebrew?" I was like, "Nah, I'm just studying under them and stuff like that." And after a while, we started talking and stuff like that. And then she confided something in me, that her and her folks basically had to move up to Canada because she was sexually assaulted by Malachi York. And she was an 11th grader, so she might have been 16, maybe 17 at the time. I never forget it, bro. We're in Toronto, Canada, bro. We're not in Brooklyn. We're not in Cleveland. We're in Toronto, Canada. Technically a different country. And I'll never forget that. It's like she broke it down, Brother Taharka. I don't remember the sister's name. Again, this is back in the 80s, so forgive me. If I remembered her name, I wish I stayed in contact with her, but they moved because they were getting some flack in Brooklyn. You know, he was based out in Brooklyn at that time. And this was, again, what was this? This was like 87, 88, around those times. And bruh, like to this day, I never forget that. And I was kind of like, he did what? And I kind of didn't want to believe it. So I kind of was just like, you know, I don't know about all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like liking what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I'm not too sure about that. And I never heard anything about him having issues with young girls or anything like that. Like I never heard anything. I was just into the knowledge. That's all I really was caring about. Like you couldn't tell me anything. But I'll never forget this though, bro. She was straight up. And I don't know whatever happened to her because I left mid through the school year to move back to Cleveland. So she was still there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if her and her family stayed there, if they moved back to the United States. I don't know. She was definitely from Brooklyn. It was all, you know, she was definitely from there, but it was like it was so strange. Like out of all the schools in Canada, in Toronto, Canada, you happen to be at the one I was at, Midland Avenue Collegiate Institute. I'm telling you the name. It's no longer around there, but it's in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada, which is a suburb of Toronto. And when she said that, bro, when all this stuff started happening, started coming back about him, bro, that was the first thing that hit me. Like years, this is like years, because I think it started coming out like what, 90, like in the early 90s, some of this stuff started coming out. Like when I went in there, I never heard anything about, like, I never heard anything negative about it. Like, you know, of course, the brothers, the brothers representing are not gonna say anything. But bro, that was like when that stuff came out, her face, I see her face right now. That was the first person when that stuff came out. It was just like, yo, I really believe that brother is a pedophile. And I know you've had family and his family on there, bro. I'm telling you, I don't have no reason to lie. Again, Allah is my witness. You know, my word is my bond, and my bond is my life. Bruh, why would somebody just come out and say that? You know what I mean? Like she didn't just come out when we had to get to know each other a while. I guess she wanted to see if I was like really down, but you know, I wasn't really down, wasn't dressing up in that garb and nothing like that. I just had the books. And I still have one of his books that I still saved from the 90s. So, you know, everybody was talking about the Illuminati and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is one of the books that I did have, but I used to have a lot of the books. And then when he started changing and going into all this other different stuff, I was like, okay, this Negro's crazy. And then when all this other accusations started coming out, bro, I'm telling you, man, from then on, it's like, you can't tell me not. I don't care what nobody say. If a family have to move out of Brooklyn because they feel for their life because this young girl was sexually molested, I'll say that. I won't say rape. I'll just say sexually molested, and this is in 87, 88, something around there. I can't remember the year, the late 80s. I couldn't even rock. I couldn't even like rock with him like all of that. Like,
bro, you got a nice take. You got a nice take on history. You know what I'm saying?
And bro, and it's only because of my search for knowledge. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was never a card carrying member, but and I just say all of this. I studied everything. I studied a little the Hare Krishna stuff, bro. Like, I was like studying everything. And only thing I was studying. Only reason
who in Baltimore from Garrison? Wow, I thought Garrison was only a Nation of Islam block. Well, it is now, because where Silas now had there, they tore that down a few years ago, and now they got a Family Dollar over there. So, but man, they had some wonderful food there. I used to go there every Friday after Holy Day, fazzed up, man. Give me some mac and cheese, give me some
But Brother Taharka, what we were saying before, and I know you, the audience can agree, it's a shame. And I was talking with somebody earlier. Ever since the internet popping up, and we
talking about that,
and we talked about it too. Ever since the internet popped up, okay, I remember being in Cleveland State and getting on the computers and really checking out the internet and wow, loving it. And then, you know, you just getting on there, getting information, you know. And then when social media came out, just like in rap music, with Black culture, with a lot of our historical Black organizations, like regardless if they're based in theology, if they're based in Pan-Africanism, like we got a lot of weirdos going on, Brother Taharka.
Man, it's really convoluted, man.
Brother Taharka,
it's super convoluted. Like, people think Moors are like, people come up to me and ask me, you know, my cousin is locked up, you know, can he proclaim his nationality so they can let him go? Like, no, they're gonna he got life in prison, but he's going to declare his nationality, and these Europeans going to let him go to me.
Brother Taharka,
I get letters from people in prison right now, and I gotta write them back. I gotta write them back and say, brother, that's not how it works. Where did you learn that from? And brother, then I do this. I said, please write the people who taught you that, because that's not Moorish science. Brother, so whoever taught you that, please write them so they can get you out of there.
Brother Taharka, what did I tell you? Even when I was suited and booted, bean pie, final call, bow tie, and I'm building with the older gods of the Moorish Science Temple, man. They ain't never talked to me about that. So we never, like, that was like never. We were talking about the Holy Quran. We were talking about Black people. We were just like, it was different. Like you said, like, bro, because I think we came into knowledge ourselves around the same time, late 80s. You know what I'm saying? And it was like it was crazy different. Like, bro, like, you got all these weirdos. You got folks building up, buying schools and not even opening up no schools, and talking real greasy about sisters. But then we're supposed to
send your children there.
Yeah, we're supposed to send your children there, and then you coming up with all these excuses. No, then you got people who have envy and jealousy. Like, you're envious of, regardless if y'all Farrakhan took the nation to the mainstream, and you don't like that. You wish it was you, so you don't like him, so you got an issue with that, you know, or he's changing up the teachings, like, you know, what's another thing? Or you
know what though, brother? You know what my main issue? Nobody wants to have a respectable intellectual debate, conversational dialogue. Everybody wants to be malicious.
Yes.
And low level. They're supposed to be conscious though. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like me and you had a conversation today about the differences of how we see historicity as it relates to Moorish science and the Nation of Islam.
Yes.
There was not one disrespectful tone. There was not one, like, what in the world? These are the conscious people too, brother.
But Brother Taharka, what did I say, bro? I said, you know what, Brother Taharka? I think you can contact so-and-so or so-and-so. They would be more in depth to give you the finite answers and things that me just being, you know, just a foot soldier, you know what I'm saying, when we're talking about real spiritual people that are actual ministers, you know what I'm saying? Not people who just attach minister to their name. You know what I'm saying? And say, oh yeah, I'm a minister. No, like you got to take that stuff like real serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, we can't have that. And anytime somebody thinks that or they fear that you don't agree with them, and it happens in the nation too, because you can go online. There's some people that I'm just like, really? This is what you're talking about? Facebook. Really? This is what you're talking about? Like, who told you this? And then there was stuff that I was sure that I knew had people, Brother Damon, no, actually, this is what the messenger said. This is what Brother Farrakhan said. Provide proof. You know what? I submit to truth. I gotta submit. You know, we all submit to the supreme being, black man of Asia, but I submit to truth too. Like, you right. I'm not gonna call you names.
And I like what you said, though. You know, some of that stuff you have to refer to the ministers. You know what I mean? The student ministers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because some of it can get lost in translation and lost and passed down. And so you speak to a student minister like Nori, or you speak to a student minister like Wesley or something like that, then you might get verification and clarification to something. You know what I'm saying? But if you're speaking to like somebody like a soldier, you're speaking to somebody, you know, like I'm a ride out, but I'm not the scholarship type. I know what I know what I feel, and I'm riding out. You're not going to get the same answer. So I like what you said on the phone.
But you know what's also funny? A lot of people who disagree with, I'll just say the truth. It could be from the Moors. It could be from the nation. It could be from Garveyites or just anybody. Have you noticed the ones who are like really the loudest? They're the ones who are, you got, what is this fool? Young Pharaoh.
Young Pharaoh.
An idiot. You got all this knowledge yourself, bruh. And I'm just telling you and all these other folks, we're not perfect. We're all not perfect. I'm not saying that I'm better than any other man, but when I got knowledge yourself, there was just certain things that I wasn't doing.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't do it. Like this knowledge itself, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to our lessons, our supreme wisdom, like, yo, I take this supreme wisdom hard. Like, no, what's written in the supreme wisdom is actual facts. Like, I can't deviate from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me to go back and go from a god to a slave of mental death and power, like, why go backwards? So you got this young Pharaoh talking real greasy. This fool was doing what? Having domestic battery, and he arrested,
banging on houses, bang bang,
doing all of that stuff.
Your mother, children in the house.
And then you had another one. What's that boy? The one that used to put that the eye. Polite. Another one, fronting, doing some greasy stuff, like all these wives. I don't even know if they were really wives, but whatever. Pushing the same. And last time I checked, he wasn't a Moor, but he's pushing all that nationalism stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where he at? In trouble. Then you got Umar Johnson. I really think
you know, he's supposed to be Muslim.
But bro, remember on one time he talking about that he was gonna have a farm and he was gonna have pigs. Ain't no Muslim farmer I know got no damn pigs on their farm, or even bring pigs around. Or living in filth, or dancing with a stripper, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what gets me. We give people too many passes. You know what I mean? Like if you claim to be conscious and you claim to be revolutionary, Pan-African, and all of these things, like,
and we make mistakes, bro.
I'm not going in the strip club. I'm just not. There's nothing in there for me.
Yeah. But my bro, we all deviate.
Do you go in the strip club?
Bro, I'll be honest. Last time I went in the strip club was when I was in college, bro. Yeah. And I was going with friends. And even then, it was like.
Look, I told my wife this story, right?
Bro, but like you said, there was no reason for me to go. Like, there was no reason for me to go in there.
I told my wife this story, right? I remember like in '96, like I was like, man, you know, they had all these I don't know if it was that song or whatever, but they had them Lil Jon song, to the window, to the right.
Yeah.
I said, man, let me see what's going on. So down Baltimore Street, right? I said, I'm gonna go up and, man, you know, I was in there like, man, what am I doing here? That was like 96, 97. I started feeling sorry for the sisters. Like, why this sister up here doing this, man? Why is she?
Bro,
I wanted to give her some lessons.
Now when I work for some of these record labels, when I work for some of these record labels, a lot of the DJs that I would service records to, if there were places that I was like, man, I can't be caught in that spot.
Yeah.
Let me drop these records off at your house. You know, so like for one thing that you bring that up, I work for Tommy Boy, right? So this is when RuPaul, remember RuPaul had that big song? So RuPaul was on our label. So it was like, yo, X, we need you to service these records to all these DJs, you know, but all these DJs work at these gay clubs. And ain't no way Damon X is going to be seen going into gay clubs. I don't care if I had a whole box of records and you saw that. All somebody had to walk by was like, I just saw Damon X go into a gay club. Like, that's all it would take. Not saying, you know, but I would know the DJs because it was my job to know the DJs. So it's just like, hey, man. And I had to tell my boss at Tommy Boy, man, I can't do that. But I will make sure that the DJs get their records. So I would just stop at their house. Boom. Here's your records. You know. Yeah. Oh, come on in and see me spin these records. No, I know you're gonna spin this record. You know what I'm saying? But I can't go in there. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny. You know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying. But my thing is, a lot of what these brothers are doing, they doing stuff worse than these 85%ers are doing. Like, you're supposed to have knowledge of self, and you either doing something that's harming sisters, you scheming people, and money is hard right now. Like, money is hard to come by, and you scheming. I remember I used to give money from time to time to at the very, very beginning, like when he first started, like, I don't know, what was it, 2010 or something, to Umar Johnson. Because it's like, oh, you trying to do something? Here, I'll give you some dollars when you come in there. I don't have no problem with it. Now I look back like, Negro, you faking with all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the state is going to take those schools and that property, and he's going to come up with an excuse why he couldn't open up that school. But it just seems like no matter all these folks who always got something negative to say, either about Farrakhan, either about you or something like that, they in a bad spot right now. You know what I'm saying? They're in a real bad spot.
I think what happens is, like, when it comes to me per se, because I understand that social media and all media has all been used for marketing. And so what happens is, I know that they marketing something because they're going to try to sell people something where they're going to get a return. But with a Moorish World TV, it cuts the purse strings. So now you can't get a return. So now your marketing becomes in vain. You see what I'm saying? So now you be mad at me. But in fact, all you have to do is be true to you and come real. Yes, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to do that because at any given moment, guess what Malik could say? This is where I went to school at in California. What you mean? I got a smudged out pass. This is my elementary school right here. This is where I grew up right here in LA. This is my hood right here. See, over 30 years done passed, nobody knows in LA where he lives at, where he come from.
Bruh, I pulled to Google Earth. I pulled up where on your article where Najee was talking about he had 60 Panthers and he cleaned up an area of a street called Lakeview. I pulled up from where I used to live when I was in college, where my first assignment as a teacher was right down the street from Lakeview. And my brother, one of my best friends, had a house right off Lakeview. I'm in Lakeview 5 days, sometimes 6 days out the week. I'm in the area. And I told you this, I wasn't too sure, but maybe about one time, I think it could have been Najee. It could have been him. I can't remember the fate. I just remember a brother on Lakeview putting up flyers about joining the Black Panther Party by himself. Sometimes I'd be rolling up and down Durant or Lakeview or St. Clair or Superior, which is all the areas around where Lakeview is at, from time to time, and I might see him by himself. So that article, he had 60 people. I was like, I ain't never seen those 60 Black Panthers. And then when I did a little bit more research, I found out he lived on a street called Storer, which was off Lakeview, right? In the area where, again, I lived when I was in college, where I taught 7 years at Patrick Henry Middle School. Anybody could Google that up. Patrick Henry Middle School, Cleveland, Ohio. You can get on Google Earth. You will see that whole area. You'll see right where Lakeview is, right down the street from Patrick Henry. Like, that was my area. And that was another reason why I wanted to get on your show to say, hey, I have credence. Like, I really know this area. I wasn't on the other side of town or in the suburbs growing up. No, I was
right there, Joe. So basically, you were right there where he claimed to be in the Nation of Islam, doing all this community service. You right there.
And he said he had 60 Panthers. And I remember one time, one brother, and I think it was him. I'm really think it was him. But he was putting up, join the Black Panther Party. He was posting it on the telephone poles on Lakeview. I remember seeing
and
that.
I can believe that because under Malik Zulu Shabazz, he was the field marshal.
But bro, I still don't remember seeing no Black Panthers in Cleveland. If I saw 60 Black Panthers in Cleveland, Ohio, you will create some type of news. Yeah. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing. 60 Black Panthers? Okay. And then let's be for real. Bro, let's be for real on this too. Because this is something that Khalid was real particular on, especially in the nation. You know, like if you overweight, if you not in tip-top shape as an FOI or MGT, he had some issues with that. Like he had some issues with that. You know what I'm saying? Like you had
to be fit, trim, ready to rock and roll.
You had to be ready to ride. And to be honest with you, bro, and I mean, again, not everybody, because we could pull up a whole bunch of pictures of a lot of people in the nation that, you know, enjoy their bean pies and their food. Like, you know, it happens. Like, hey, you know, I mean, even myself, I need to trim down a little bit too. You know what I mean? But when I look back in all my years of reading and loving, watching every documentary on the Black Panthers I could get my hands on and stuff like that, man, them Black Panthers they look fit, trim, ready to run. A lot of the stuff that I've been seeing now, I don't even think they can outrun anybody. Like it don't look right. It just don't look right.
Hey brother,
and that's not no disrespect, but I'm just saying, like, it's like you lost your soul. It's something that even Professor Griff, I remember Professor Griff said in an interview when he came back into Public Enemy, he said the S1Ws just they weren't crisp with their maneuvers and everything. It wasn't crisp. It was like they fell off. And he said, you know, it's because he wasn't around. Because, you know, he was, you know, like I said, he's like my captain. You know what I'm saying? Like you on point. You got to be on point. You know what I'm saying? And it just these Black Panthers that I see, like they don't look uniform. They look sloppy. You know, just because you have a gun, it's just like those mall cops, Brother Taharka, them old fat mall cops. Okay, they got a gun, but are you really in fear of them? Not really. Not really. You know what I'm saying? And I love the Panthers. For those that's doing the work, hey, I got love. But just on the outside, I'm not in, so I don't know. But just on the outside, man, y'all don't look crisp. Like for me, it would take a while. You have to do something to prove to me that I would have to join your organization, because I'm like, you know, at least when you in the ranks, you know, your brother on the side of you, in front of you, and back of you, you know, ready to roll. You know what I mean? We ready to roll. Like, okay, you know, we ready to roll. Like you already know this. You know, there it's kind of like people walking around the gun. You know, I'm not too keen on guns and stuff like that, but the way you holding the guns just don't look crisp. It don't look military. It just don't look what it's supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying?
It looked like that they done rolled a few blunts, took a few sips, and say, all right, come on, grab your guns. We got to go do a maneuver.
Now those who are Panthers that are doing work within the community, doing their stuff, hey,
Oh no, you got now, let me tell you, you got some real gun clubs.
You don't care what they look like because they help in the community. But I'm talking about the ones that want to get
the
on
camera
TV,
chasers.
the camera chasers.
But you got real groups like Gorilla Mainframe. You got I do like Huey P. Newton, even though they mad at me. I like Huey P. Newton Gun Club. I like Fred Hampton Gun Club. I like a few of them, you know what I mean? Because many of them are, there's quite a few of them. You Can't Rest and Sleep, and then it's a DC Gun Club that I like because they're not camera. My brother John from the DC Gun Club.
No, so it's Brother Tarka, let me ask you this, because you know these gun clubs. When you see them, do they look crisp? Are their boots polished? Do their guns look clean?
Well, no. Listen, the ones that we see, No Sleep for the Rich. Yeah, I like No Sleep for the Rich Gun Club. But no, when now you have some real sharp gun clubs. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see them in front cameras.
No. I'm saying the ones that you know.
See them?
No. When you see them behind the cameras, but I know they look sharp, right?
Yeah.
They just look sharp.
They're good.
So I'm saying the ones in front of the camera.
The ones in front of the camera, like the Malik, Crystal Muhammad's, and the likes of that, man, it's an embarrassment.
It's embarrassing. You know, just like there's times we used to get on each other like, you know, if your suit wasn't pressed right, if your shoes wasn't shined, we supposed to be going out to the people to present a alternative image to what we're always seeing, instead of seeing people looking like slobs. This time I seen people with they pants all baggy, they collar hanging off. Like, no.
And another thing that's the problem is how they communicate. There are some bad communicators.
Yes.
I'm talking about horrible communicators.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm telling you, I butcher the English language. I'll butcher that.
We all do from time to time, right? No doubt.
But when it's time for me to communicate, I know how to get my message across.
Yes.
I watched Malik freestyle in a video because I'll be editing videos, so I get to see all the detail. I'm like, this guy don't know what he's doing. This guy, like the lady at the nursing home, they literally cursing out old people.
Like, why?
They literally trying to convince the old people that the person that they're looking for is in the nursing home. The old people saying no. The staff saying no. Old people saying, get away from here.
Brother Taharka, would Khalid have done that?
Oh, no.
Never.
Oh,
he would never have done that.
Not in a million years.
He would never have done that. He would have been a civilized black man, a righteous civilized black man, moving accordingly. So,
and I don't believe, for the life of me, I don't believe Dr. Khalid would have been up there trying to enforce a warrant either.
No.
That just doesn't make sense. Even if Dr. Khalid would have spoke on it, he would have said, yeah, get the old regular white lady and get her. You know how he do.
Or would it demanded the black people in that area or whoever was working for the local government to start getting on their toes.
He would have did, but walking around peeping in blinds and patio.
So, bro, so when I look, you read that book again. I won't pick up that book because Malik has showed me that he's a liar. And again, I can't take anybody who mixes something kosher with pork serious. And if he's lying about one thing, he's going to lie about something else. He's going to sensationalize something else. He's going to take something that he might have thought Khalid said and expanded it more. You know, that's why. And I was tempted, but I'm like, I can't do it, bro. Just like I've never watched Spike Lee's Malcolm X movie for this main reason why I was told, somebody not in the nation, I was told that, no, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you who it was. Professor Griff told me, because he asked me, this is when the movie just came out, and I was like, nah, I just don't really feel like watching it. I don't know why. And he was like, good, because he was like, every time in that movie, the messenger was in there, he was always in a dark place. He was always perceived as being dark and something wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, you know. every scene that the messenger is in, they say he's always in the dark. And I've seen some clips and I saw what Griff was talking about. You know what I'm saying? I can't watch that. I can't support that.
You know what I noticed? I mean, it's ironic that you say that because I stopped watching a lot of so-called black sitcoms.
Yeah.
They always had a dark type of, and like Seinfeld, they were real bright.
Yeah. You see that, right, bro?
Real bright. Friends, real bright. But when it comes to Martin, they got the dark colors and the lighting is dark. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I can't do this.
Like, you know, and again, we're not going on no conspiracy, but it's just some things are just out there. And again, you know, we always like to push this person is an agent, this person, no, because a lot of times we have to realize that our people are poison animal eaters. You know, they're slaves of mental death and power. In other words, they just sick and they dumb as hell. You know, they'll just say stuff. You know, not everybody is I don't think Malik is an agent. Maybe he is. I mean, I don't know, but maybe he ain't. Maybe he just like for now we're in an era where likes, people will kill themselves over the amount of likes.
I would say this: the only reason I think Malik is an agent is because number one, he has a scrubbed pass. That's number one. You know what a scrubbed pass is?
No, sir.
His history starts at Howard University.
Okay.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Your history starting at Howard University. But what happens is,
but I got my activism a lot.
No. What I mean by his history too. Let me show you what I mean by history. Okay. When you came on the show, you said you was from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about
Cleveland,
Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you look at it, when you do research and you look at a past of somebody and you say, well, where you're from, like somebody say something to me, oh, he lived in Annapolis, oh, he lived in Baltimore. It's easy to discover. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at somebody like Malik, who is a public figure per se, and the only thing you know is he's from LA, right? And then you know that he went to school at Howard University.
Oh, you're saying everything in between.
Everything in between is done.
Mm.
Now, if he does a gang summit, the only gangs that show up is locally wherever that summit is. He don't know no OGs in LA, do we? I don't know. But every time he's done a gang summit, it's always the gangs in Brooklyn. I mean, in Harlem, wherever he does it. Wherever he go, it's only the locals. You feel what I'm saying? We don't see him giving back to his own neighborhood in LA. What about his own neighborhood? Remember how you just named every street?
Yeah.
What about his own neighborhood? In fact, what about his own neighborhood in
Does
Maryland?
he live in Washington, bro?
No, he lives in Silver Spring. But what about his own neighborhood? What about that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So this is where the suspicion comes. The suspicion comes is that I can't talk about revolution and jumping in cars going around the country and I haven't done nothing in Baltimore. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like when I was working for these record labels, if you weren't hitting in your hometown, a lot of these labels weren't really going to take. And again, we're talking about in the 90s. You know, if you weren't hitting locally in your town, you wasn't causing some type of heat in your town. A lot of labels wasn't really trying to mess with you because if you're not blowing up in your own hometown selling some records, then why would we sign you and expect you to blow up everywhere else? Sometimes it does work like that, but a lot of times when I was working locally as an A&R trying to find some talent for Tommy Boy and some other record labels I worked with, that was the thing. Like, oh, are they selling? How many?
So look, I read another book. I've been doing a lot of research, and I read another book where as though even this guy, he was close to Malik. He was close to Dr. Khalid. You probably know him. I'll tell you about him in a minute because I'm going to try to interview him too. But in his book, it's called Fire 700 or something like that. I forget the name of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a real low-key book. But nevertheless, the best that he got in the book about Malik is he's from California. He know nothing about, nobody knows nothing about Malik. They know Howard University, that's it. Now, that's very suspect. Now, The reason why that is so suspect is because
he doesn't mention Brother Darker. He doesn't mention it in his book.
No.
Wow. Okay.
And even man, it's a whole bunch of suspicious stuff going on. A whole bunch where I can uncover and just show. It looks crazy.
Now, when you interviewed him, you didn't ask him about that?
Yeah, and he's very vague with it. So when I interviewed him, I asked him. I said, I asked him 3 questions that I really wanted answers for. Where did you grow up at? He said California. I said where? And he kind of smoothed it over with that, and I didn't want to prod at that time because I was hoping to get another interview. Then I asked him about was he ever in the Nation of Islam? He said no. And I said,
I always thought he was.
I said to him, I said, well, how were you introduced to the next Nation of Islam? He said his grandfather.
Right.
And I said, well, what mosque was he a part of? He couldn't answer. He couldn't answer. I said, because come on, man. I've been around this stuff.
Bro, you're right. Because like I said, if anybody looks on Defiant Giants EP, the stuff that he was breaking down and giving so much props to Master Khalid Muhammad and everybody, you would be like, oh yeah, he definitely must be down. The stuff that he was rapping about was all lessons. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like,
and that's the thing. See, back in those days, the 5% lessons was floating around everywhere, bro. They were floating around everywhere.
And a lot of that stuff,
especially on the college campuses.
Right, and a lot of that stuff wasn't right and exact too. A lot of that stuff,
but that's where
a lot of people got it from.
Look,
right.
A lot of people was not reading. Like I showed this book. I'm very proud of this book. I had this book for a long time. Our Savior's Arrived, taped up and everything.
Yo, you got the red book. Yeah, that's the old version.
So I have a lot of old books like this, and I have Supreme Wisdom. I have I actually gave my old message away, but this
Bro, I got my Supreme Wisdom from when I joined. Look, I got the ends. Like this is, like I said, this is the most important book. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is for real.
So I have everything. So what I'm saying is that I can listen to people and tell where people got back then it would be Xerox copies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I actually studied, we had real books. Me and my brother, we had real books. I've been Morse American. My best friend was in the Nation. So we had real books. We would challenge each other all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I can kind of listen and I can tell like, they didn't got 3rd generation Xerox copies.
Yeah.
This ain't the real thing. And so that's what I hear from Malik a lot of time. But he's a genius in memory though. And it's amazing that these scammers have such memory like this. I'm talking about Young Pharaoh. I listened to Young Pharaoh talk about aliens. I was like, I thought I heard that before. And I went and Googled it, and I was like, and I found the show, and he was almost word for word. Polite, genius. Inky, genius.
Yeah, I never heard the Inky that you talking about. But bro, my whole thing is this though. How can you do all of this and then you getting caught up doing some vile or some shady stuff? Like it don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how you gonna know all this, esoteric stuff, but then
they just got major memories. They got good memories, bro. They don't know it.
But they don't have good memories. They don't have good enough memories though, bro, on how to, if you gonna scam folks, right?
They scam too many. You can't keep up with
I guess so. And
so look, brother, this is what I want to do. We're gonna wrap it up real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, on Sunday, are you ready?
I think let me see, because again, and that's one thing I really thank you, bro, because I didn't want you to think that I was somebody that was trying to get on your show just to be seen and heard, because I know we were supposed to be doing this like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Right. But again, we about to start back in school, so I'm doing a lot of in-school trainings and stuff like that. But I definitely want to have it just for the simple fact, again.
If we can get a good hour, can we get a good hour?
I think we can get a good hour.
Bro, let me tell you,
definitely get a good hour, because I just want to challenge on the stuff that he's saying. Like, he might have been in the inner circle. I'm just saying, when I was speaking with Khalid, when I never saw him. Maybe he never came to Cleveland. I don't know. Maybe he was in Mississippi, like you said. I tried to do just a quick Google search on the brother because he's supposed to be a minister in the nation and all of that. You would think you would find some information, and I just keep seeing his name on these homemade websites that
Who?
don't even look.
Who do you see on the homemade website?
The doc, what do you call it? The Doc Merculum or something like that. Like I pulled it up.
Hey,
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be man. But
Damon X, man, he ain't
I just pulled it up because I wanted to know who the brother was. Maybe he was somebody.
Intellectual heat, man. Come on, man. Don't do that to Doc.
No, I thought he was somebody that was. I'm just saying, bro. I will pull it up if there's a way that we can share the screens, and I pulled it up. I'll just say this is what I saw. Maybe there's other way, but I looked his name.
Man, no.
I looked his name, and this is what I saw. You know what I'm saying? This is I just saw it, and it was like, and the information was real vague on this brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably vague to him. Like Damon X, okay, just 1 foot soldier, one of many people who knew Khalid. I'm not saying that I was Khalid's underling. No, I was a mentor. Or I was a mentor of his, and like he probably had mentors everywhere. And I think I really was his mentor because I connected to him. I connected to him because of our fraternal affiliation and because of the nation. If it was somebody else, he probably would have been cool, but he would never have gave me his number. You know, we've never would have been doing this and this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I broke bread in his house and stuff like that, you know, never did nothing like that. But just when it's coming to Cleveland,
you
stuff,
babysit Farrah.
I know what's up. And
did you babysit Farrah?
No. And see, I have an issue, and bro, and when you do your thing, I have an issue with that too. Farrakhan was saying that Khalid left him and his mama to basically be in poverty in Chicago, in the streets of Chicago. And I'm like, huh? Like he's been saying that. Like he's another one I don't trust.
Brother.
And I won't even get into the scam that he did with the publishing. I won't even get into the publishing scam that Farrah was caught on. Nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to take his means. Oh, he wrote see? Birds of a feather flock together, bro. Wow. He wrote that? Really? Really? He won't even call himself Farrakhan. That's your name. Your name is not Farrah. What the hell is a Farrah? Your daddy did not name you Farrah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that always irked me. So that really irked me because it was like, so you mean to tell me, because this is the story that he's saying. His father left his mother and him to be, basically they were poor in one of the projects in Chicago, and then he started meeting people, and then he created some stuff and created his own business, and all of a sudden he's making all this money. Like, huh? That's another one. What happened? What school did you go to? Like, you mean to tell me that Khalid, even in his death, left you or left his mama with nothing? Left you fending for yourself? That's what you're saying? Nah. Like, bro, it's just a lot of answers to me that just didn't make sense. And it's like now, since Suge Knight is locked up, everybody got something to say about Suge. But when he was out in the streets, ain't nobody said nothing. When Khalid was around, none of these stories, none of this stuff was coming out. But as soon as he gone, all of a sudden people got all these stories. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me. But you know, I get it. It's the internet. You know, it's you know, like I said before, people kill themselves over likes, and if they don't get enough likes or enough comments, you know, they don't feel important. Like I get it, but I would never thought it would hit the conscious community like it is now. Like we you know, I wanted to start a podcast, something like yours, a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like, damn, I don't even think nobody would really want to listen to me. Like, who am I? Who want to listen to me?
I think they do though, bro. I think
I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? But just on that, you know what I'm saying? My thing is, it's like, I get this is the way you want to spread information. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, bruh, tell me if Khalid was alive, he would allow his son to shake his hands with Bill.
Do you know what that's all about right there?
Was that about him? Was that about him? He was supposed to invent something, or it was something, bro. This was so long ago.
This is the classic sellout move. This is the move. This is the move to say, we win, you lose. Once you press that European hand on this level, when the Senate was against your father.
Yes, and voted
against your father. Never in history has we seen that too many times.
He was the only one. He's never been censured. He was the first person to be censured.
I've ever even seen in many times where people made that much of a fuss. Never in history. Never. And your son does this.
Bro, there was a book. There was a book called "From Niggas."
That's thumbing. That's the proverbial thumb in the nose.
Yeah, bro. There was a book that came out. A lot of people in the conscious community read "From Niggas to Gods." This fool went from Farrakhan to Farah on this picture. That's how I correlate the two. From niggas to, or the reversal, from gods to niggas, and then you went to this, like, like I said, it's crazy, bro. And I'm like,
the thing is, with me, like I like to say, what I mean? If that's what you are, that's what you do, that's what you do. But however, your father literally gave his life as a willing sacrifice.
Bro, how long?
If my son was to shake hands with a Bill Clinton, it wouldn't bother me. You know what I mean? Hey, that's your thing. Do your thing. It wouldn't bother me. But this is a different set of circumstances. I mean, your father had the whole European system on his heels, trying to destroy him, trying to disqualify him, trying to do everything humanly possible to get him out the way. And now that.
And Farrah, if you was in New York, you would have been a victim of stop and frisk. You might have been shot and killed if you was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong devil. You know what I mean? Like you basically, but like you said, it's basically you sleeping with the enemy. Like that's your key, sleeping with the enemy. And right now, let's be honest though, bro. What is Farrah known for right now? For making inspirational memes. That's all he's known for. Everybody puts an inspirational meme that he said that he probably stole from somebody else, and that's what he's known for. But I know about his scams. When he was when he was sending people that they can publish their books through his company, and they were sending in money and never got no books published. Like that's what you're doing too. Like it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, and it's just like I think that's a bad enough stain on Brother Khalid. It's just like you have a student captain supreme supreme captain Mustafa. Hey, Brother Mustafa is always going to represent his father the righteous way. Hey
man, listen.
You know that.
I heard him teaching it maybe 2 weeks ago. I was like, man,
but you see that, but you know what I'm saying, though, bro? And it's like, of course, you hope that your seeds, carry on or do better. You know what I'm saying? But golly, if you're a revolutionary, like, man, how many of these sons of revolutionaries are selling out?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. So Morse World TV is that litmus test.
Yeah.
Because now you have inspired me to go ahead and do a story on Farrah Gray. I want to see you do it.
And I don't know. Like I said, I've seen a brother, shook his hand, talked to him, and a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like, he wouldn't remember me. He wouldn't remember me at all. You know what I'm saying? Because he was definitely of that age. But even at that age, he was still astute. He still knew what was going on. He'd be the same one out there. As soon as father was talking about these fools, he was right there cheering on his dad. And then this is what you do.
I know.
Like, wow, okay. That's what you do. That's what you do. But it's just like, bro, there's just some people I just don't trust, and I just don't. I'm glad I didn't buy that Khalid book. I think that book, I never read it. So again, I'm just speaking on hearsay and my own personal biases. But I just don't. If somebody's gonna lie like that, like there's nothing that he can say or do that will prove otherwise. Like I wouldn't support it.
Let's get out of it. Let me say this real quick. So family, tomorrow on Morse World TV, we got a video coming up tomorrow. This is tell me what you think about this. We ain't gonna be long, it's gonna be real quick. This is tomorrow at, I think it's scheduled for 9 o'clock.
Eastern time?
8 o'clock Eastern time. This is it.
Okay.
So this is the original
out of Dallas, Texas, right?
I must apologize to you, first of all.
Right.
Malik is a jealous bitch, and that's what he's gonna always be. He's gonna always be that, because he has never created anything. He's never created anything. He's never done anything in his life other than run around here and take people's money for cases that he's not doing and abandon the case in that organization.
Wow, brother.
And that's not to slander Doc, but it is to slander folks who try to erase my memory from the organization and to erase the Dallas chapter. But a lot of that, what you're seeing with these split off groups, and we the militia, we the this, and we the that, but they all following, what we were doing in the 80s and 90s and things like that. And while I admire your courage.
So family, that is tomorrow. That is tomorrow, family.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
That's tomorrow, and basically, man, he's saying that, you know what I mean, that Malik is a fraud, that Malik is pretty much a clout chaser on steroids. These are my words, but just to condense that interview, it's pretty much talking about how they're trying to wipe him out as the founding member of the new Black Panther Party.
If I'm not mistaken, though, Dr. Khalid went through that brother to
that's
go
why you
through everything. Like Dr. Khalid went to him to say, "Hey," right?
Absolutely. So this is why.
Woo! That's
why you see him in that picture right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see he on the left, Dr. Khalid right there in the middle.
Where's Malik at?
No, he's nowhere. Malik was a lap puppet.
Malik. And bro, like I said, I really I definitely had love for Malik. Like it's again, I just came across him in college. You know what I'm saying? He was in college. I just, when whatever issues he had with Farrakhan or with somebody from the executive side, and then he started lambasting. Like I was like, Malik, you doing this?
That's the thing, because
it's just like wow. I'm like, you have every right.
He sold himself as a member of the Nation of Islam under the leadership of Minister Louis Farrakhan, but he was never under Minister Louis Farrakhan. Farrakhan actually, I believe, from what I researched, Farrakhan actually liked him. You know what I'm saying?
I've always thought so.
Yeah, he actually.
I've always thought so.
Yeah. He actually. I'm talking about from what I researched, and I don't even think he was even compelled to join. You know what I mean? Because he was able to. He was able to navigate through the nation by the way of helping to promote and bring the nation into the college arena, if you will. But right after Khalid passed, man, he really got nasty.
Bro. See, you see that? That's what I'm saying. Like I went on that Facebook. I was like, man, that can't be Brother Malik. That's got to be somebody just using his page and just it can't be him. Bro, it took a while, but I found out that was his page. I was like, wow, like you don't seem like a lawyer. Like I hope what have you won? Like what I'm saying. That's what I always say about Crump. Now Crump is my frat brother, but I wouldn't want him as my lawyer because it's like you look at all
these. He's a negotiator.
I don't know what he's doing, but everything he's doing, they losing. Trayvon Martin, he was part of, lost. Tamir Rice, lost. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe
he's good at negotiating.
Oh, okay. So
and
maybe
nobody know what you get though.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I know I've talked to Tamir Rice's mom, Samaria Rice, a lot of times via social media. And you know, when she exposed Black Lives Matter, when she exposed Sean King, when she exposed all these folks who, you know, she said to this day, she started up a Tamir Rice Foundation. She did it herself. She has some college kids from Case Western Reserve University, which is a very prestigious 4-year school in Cleveland, you know, to help out with the foundation. She was like, you know, all these folks claim to be, you know, to help her and help her get either money, get some justice. They made more money off her dead son's name than she did. You know, and this is what she told me, you know, via interacting, you know, on Instagram. But this is what she told me, you know, and I was just like, wow. Because I always think, oh, yeah, Sean King. I already knew about Black Lives Matter, what they agenda is about. But I thought Sean King was at least kind of right. Nope. And then what's the other one? There's a couple more that you know, they claim that they this and that for the people, bro. They just out for the money, man. And I'm glad you're not that. You know, I'm glad there's a few that are just not out there, you know, out and getting in front of the cameras, wanting to be in front of the cameras, you know. I just want to thank you because I know we've been on here long enough. Thanks for the people who stayed to hear me ramble on. I definitely thank you for, you know, just giving me a chance just to, you know, just to say my side. You know, and I pray to Allah that, you know, if I did say something wrong or had some misinformation, you know, it wasn't done, you know, in spitefulness, just maybe forgetting. But I tried to be as honest. Not tried to be. I was, or I am, as honest as I can. Going back to the information. Again, when I contacted you, I know you probably get a lot of, besides the haters, people say, "Yeah, I just want to get on the show and be seen and all that." But when I text you, you know, and sent you, you know, I wanted to send you pictures. I wanted to send you, hey, this is who I am. I'm not some kook. I got a little bit of something, you know, on here. So just to show. So I'm pretty sure that if somebody else says, yeah, I'm from Milwaukee, you know, and Khalid was down, you know, Khalid would come to the mosque in Milwaukee or something. Maybe somebody will pop up like, well, you know what, at that time I know Khalid and I don't remember, you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully more. But, you know, again, I'm just tired of seeing just all these fraudulent people just coming on. And it's like, you don't even have to lie. Like, there's like no reason to lie about stuff like that. I'm not getting a check from YouTube, from you, about speaking on my experience. You know, I'm not. I don't have no skin in the game. It was just a brother that I love. You know, I really wish that if he was alive, and I still think to this day, if he was alive right now, I think him and the minister would be able to reconcile. I really think they probably would have reconciled to the point where Khalid would be right back in the nation. I really believe that. Maybe it might not though. You know, maybe not, but I believe that. But you know, it's just a lot of folks, man, just coming up here, just scheming, lying. You know, just like why? Like, what are you getting out of it? You know, just like we're living in weird times, bro. You know, and I really think stuff is going down. And one thing, bro, that I came across, too, just to talk about this weirdness and end it, bro. This brother has this cult in Atlanta called the Carbon Nation. Have you heard of them? Bro,
Nature boy.
Bro, that's some of the weirdest. Like I told somebody, I was like, you know what? We've been in the wilderness of North America far too long, man, because we doing what these cave dwellers are doing now. Like we're
done.
It's like some weird stuff, man. And I really think it's because of social media. I think social media really brought a lot of this weirdness out of folks.
Yeah. And social media is because people would go to. I watched the brother Nature Boy be weird, and then that wasn't enough. I watched him say on his live stream one time He was with a transsexual dude.
I saw that too, man. Oh my God.
And he was really.
And then he mixes stuff in from our respective nations, though. He mixes like the black man is God. Yeah, the black man is God, but we're not saying that you would go with some tranny. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you getting this? Or, you know, bruh, when I just got hip to that like a couple of weeks ago. And then he was talking about how he was having sex in front of his child, and his child was playing with his penis. Yeah. Like, what? No, he like certain people, those are the people that need to be taken off the planet, Brother Taharka. Like, there's some people that need to be taken off the planet.
Yeah, he really, and over the
like,
years,
he
really dipped out there, because in the beginning, he's always been weird and suspect, but he take a little bit more. Now he's to the point now where he's like full-blown savage.
Bro, and where he at? Locked up. You know, and you would think they should have picked up from Dwight York. They should have put Dwight Z. York should have been the
Dr. York is innocent.
All right.
Why you say?
Right. Hey, let's say, bro. Hey, and I know there's a lot of people that believe that. Like Brother Khalid believe that. I talked to him about that. He believed that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? All right. I still love Dr. Khalid, but he wrong on that one. He wrong on that
one. So me and Dr. Khalid wrong.
Hey, bro, like I said, I was never there. I'd never seen it. But like I said, who this little skinny black kid from America in Canada, and this sister come up here, moved from Brooklyn to Toronto, Canada in the late 80s. And, you know, I'm the only one in my school who's really into the Nubian stuff. I'm the only one. So I think that's why we even started talking. Like, I'll keep it real with you, Brother Darker. She fine. Like, she fine. So, you know, my skinny, buck-toothed, thick glasses I know she wasn't trying to go for me. You know what I mean? So, but that's how we connected. Just was, saw that, then started talking. Then, you know, talking about Black history and some knowledge and stuff. And then boom, after a while, just like, hey, this is the person who this person is. This is why I'm up here. Like, you know, and again, at that time, I didn't know nothing about him even having inklings. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not having no inklings on that, you know? And again, I was a chapter, and the last thing, I know we keep going, I created a Zulu Nation chapter in Cleveland right before I graduated from college. And then I worked with African Bambaataa. And I don't know, it was because I'm in the nation and Bam knew I was in the nation. I've provided security for Bam when he would be doing raves and stuff like that in Ohio, stuff like that. I ain't never seen that brother do nothing weird. But there's people out there that's saying, hey, I'm just saying, I never seen it. I still talk to Bam, you know, off and on once in a while, you know, to this day. You know, he always been cool. He was actually the first person, first major artist to really, really shout me out, you know, in one of his records. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing it on the love, and you know, back then I had, you know, this is towards the end when the stuff started, like a couple of years after that, stuff started coming out and the whole Zulu Nation, you know, started falling off. But, you know, it's like, but then you got what's his name? Poppy Campbell. All of a sudden he's saying that he was molested by Bam, but his whole fame now is off YouTube now. Is off that. Like I'm trying to, yeah. And I'll be honest, I don't think he was molested. Maybe he was.
No, maybe he was in a relationship. Some people say he was in a relationship with Bam.
Maybe he was, but I wasn't there. Like I said, I wasn't there with this sister that when she told me that York molested her. I wasn't there. I mean, we weren't there, so we could take it as it is. But when she telling me this, and then years later, I'm hearing about it, it was like, wow, like she could have said anything, you know. She could have not said nothing to me at all, you know. But from that point, bro, I really believe, I really believe where he belongs, that's where he need to belong. He need to be taken off the planet.
Brother
I'm not
David,
afraid to say that.
brother, I appreciate you, brother.
But I love you. I love you, bro. Thank you very much.
Sunday.
To all Sunday, definitely. To all the people on there, thanks for hearing. I would never thought, brother Tarek, I thought I'd be on here 30 minutes max. I didn't even think it would be this long.
This was good.
But thank you. Definitely, you know, in the future, if I provided myself, you know, to be part of your, you know, when you have other people on there.
Oh yes,
you know,
bro. I'm gonna be checking his schedule.
If not, I definitely just will stay a fan.
Oh,
you know,
no, bro. I really want to bring y'all in. By the way, bro, because you mentioned the Nubians, I wanna give my brother a shout out, man. This weekend, man, we had a beautiful time, man. My big bro, or my main bro, Lord Jamal hit my line.
Yes.
Told me he was going to be at a festival.
Yeah.
And he hit me up, man, and man, me.
Hey, Jamal Grand Poobah, man.
Yeah, man. We had a beautiful time, man. Shout out to Derek X, man.
Yeah.
We got Derek. I call him Derek X, but to y'all it's Sadat X.
Hey, got it.
But yeah, brother Sadat X, he'll be on the show. Brother Sadat is really, really raw. So y'all got to be prepared for that.
Oh, most definitely.
Really raw. He'll be on the show. We also
and then I gotta say this too for Lord Jamal, and I really hope people in the nation too take this. Lord Jamal was like really the cornerstone when Vlad was on his bullshit.
Absolutely.
My language. Lord Jamal was the only one, the first one, I would say. I won't say the only one. He was the first one to be like, yo, that you ain't right. And what surprised me though, bro, I always figured, because I used to go to battle with a lot of gods, because you know I always felt that they always tried to put the supreme wisdom and the most Najee Muhammad like down. You know what I'm saying? At one point I worked for Wu-Tang Records, Razor Sharp Records, and man, I used to go at it with DJ Mathematics, because you know his thing, well, you a Muslim, I'm God. Like,
but let me tell you something, man.
But hang on. But my whole thing was, but your whole basis of understanding comes from the supreme wisdom. So why you look down on Elijah? The only rap group that really, really, really picked up, that's from the Nation of Gods of Earth, that really showed ultimate respect for the Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad, was Poor Righteous Teachers. To me. Now it might have been some other food that I might have mentioned, but to really like when Wise Intelligent would say, you know, Elijah, we still love you. You don't never hear that. And
but I'm gonna tell you, brother, brand Nubian.
But like with Lord Jamal, I really thought that he was kind of like, I ain't really fucking with y'all Muslims like all like that, cause but when that happened, I was like, "Yo, Lord."
Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I learned about my bro. That's like, I feel like that's my brother from another mother, and we just came in contact with each other again in this lifetime.
I love that brother.
Lord Jamal is man. We so much alike. He's very outspoken. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's not disrespectful.
Not
he's
disrespectful
very outspoken,
at all. And will help you. He will give you a shirt off his back to help.
Let me tell you something, man. People was walking up to me, can I get a picture with Lord Jamal? I was like, I can't give you permission to do that. I was like, he'll give you one, go ahead. I was sending him over. He wasn't turning nobody down. Man, it was hot outside. Grand Puma was hot. I was hot. Everybody was hot. But I'm just telling you, man, that brother, man, I got the interview. I'm gonna put up an interview later, man. Them brothers are really, really, they have a real love for our people, man.
They do, man. Like,
and they're real.
Lord Jamal,
real, man. I don't mess with no fakes.
Lord Jamal looked out for my brother, and you know, in the music and interview and stuff. And look, like my respect for Lord Jamal was already high. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought, despite the theological differences, I'll put it like that. you know, still at the end of the day, like Lord Jamal, like is really that brother is.
Do you know Vlad pays them for them interviews, right?
He didn't pay my brother. When my brother did an interview, he didn't pay my brother.
No, people like Lord Jamal and them, they get paid for stuff like that. Boosie get paid for stuff like that.
I'm still amazed why people are even on that man's show.
What I'm saying is, so you got a brother that's really stand up when he said, man, forget you can't pay me. If you can't apologize to the minister, you can't pay me nothing.
And he ain't even part of the nation. Godfrey, not even part of the nation.
That's right. And Godfrey too. Like, you know, I holler at you, peace.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yeah, I give much love to brother Lord Jamal Allah. Like, yo, like nobody can't say nothing about Lord Jamal. Like,
nah,
like
man.
You say
That's
something, I'm
guy,
gonna have issue.
Hands down.
Nobody
Hands
can't say
down.
nothing
That's
about brother
guy.
Taharka Bay. You know, hey, and we can have differences. Like, we can have differences on anything. Like, I'm pretty sure like I said, I have differences with certain people within the nation. I know you have differences with people within the MSTA. I mean, it happens. We're human. We can have differences, but it shouldn't be to the point where it's affecting our unification. And I'm seeing a lot of these differences are affecting our unification. And I really don't see us getting unified, Brother Zaharka. I really think it's going to take either a race war or the end of the world for us to unite, because we divided off the earth. We divided over so many things. We divided over so many things, bro. Before it used to be just religion. Now it's religion and politics. Then it's religion, politics, and sexual identification. Then it's all crazy stuff, though, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? Got black women out here representing the government twerking. Like, just stupid stuff. Like, we weirded out, man.
Yeah,
we weirded out. We weirded out.
Let me get out of here, bro.
I love you, bro. Thank you very much. Much love to everybody on there, even people who was on there that still stayed on there. Thank you very much. You know, much respect, much love, and thanks very much, bro. And I hope you know, may Allah, you know, grant you, you know, continued progress and success. And definitely let's hit for Sunday, because I definitely got to go back and watch that show and jot down some stuff so I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, brother Damon X.
All right, no problem. Islam, salam alaikum. Appreciate you, brother. Islam. All right.
So look, family, man, that was a beautiful, beautiful interview. I'm glad the brother gave us all of that time. But let me also give a shout out to this young brother. This young brother watched Moorish World TV, and him and his young queen pulled up on me at this festival, right? And he said to me, he was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And his young queen was like, "No," like, you know, trying to hold him back. And I was like, "Nah, go ahead." You know what I mean? I could tell he kind of disagreed. I felt like he kind of disagreed with some of the things that I probably present, but it wasn't even that bad. I was like, "Brother, you can disagree with me. We need to learn to disagree anyway." And this young brother really, our young generation is ready. One thing that he disagreed with me about was Rico Dukes having a bank at Bank of America. And I had to break it down to him, you know, that I don't consider that to be accurate. I don't consider it to be right and exact. I feel as though it's embellishing, and, you know, obviously he didn't do a lot of research to see if there were banks that our people own, if he wanted to make a connection to a bank to have a Federal Reserve Bank. I say, but in reality, I don't even see that as reasonable that, you know, he has a Federal Reserve Bank. So me and the young brother had a beautiful little dialogue, and I just want to give him a shout out to him and his queen, and all the other people that walked up to me and made themselves known, showed the love. You know, a lot of people see on social media how people might be talking slick and all that, but in the public, man, it's nothing but love. And so I want to give everybody a shout out, and shout out to the lady that organized this event. She actually was trying to pull me on stage and like tell everybody about Moorish Science TV. Moorish Science TV. I was like, Moorish World TV. But shout out to her, and shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to my brother Sadat X and Grand Pooba. Man, we had a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. It was wonderful, family. Beautiful. So I just wanted to thank everybody, man. Thank you for all of you, because without all of you, without your thumbs up, without your likes, you know, a lot of people ask for Cash App. A lot of people do. Your thumbs up and your likes makes this show works. So I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna continue to work it for the best interest of us all. So again, thank you again, family. Tomorrow night we'll be having an interview.
Apologize, first of all.
Right. This interview with Aaron Michaels right now is on TaharkaBay.com. I also will be uploading a lot of interviews that I have that I haven't put out on TaharkaBay.com before I put them on Mosque World TV for our membership. We're going back to TaharkaBay.com. I'm gonna re-upload some stuff. I got some stuff coming up there that we got some good stuff coming back on TaharkaBay.com. So I had to work out some glitches in that, but it's back. So here we go. But this tomorrow will be a good one. Peace and love, family. This is just the intro where he said Malik is you already know. He say something like that. He say something like that. Let me see. Let me stop saying.
Bitch. And that's what he's going to always be.
Right.
So I must apologize to you, first of all.
Right.
Malik is a jealous bitch. And that's what he's going to always be. He's going to always be that, because he has never created anything. He's never created anything. He's never done anything in his life other than run around here and take people's money for cases that he's not doing and abandon the case in that organization.
Wow, brother.
And that's not to slander Doc, but it is to slander folks who try to erase my memory from the organization and to erase the Dallas chapter. But a lot of that, what you're seeing with these split off groups, and we the militia, we the this, and we the that, but they all following, you know, what we were doing in the 80s and 90s and things like that. And while I admire your courage,
I be that more you gon' remember. That town. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharka Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharka Bay front line till the law call my number.